Heat, Michael Mann, the most legendary crime director of all time. It's hilarious that we brought him in on The Keep, because I think Gaz knew more about The Keep than me, which I thought was awesome. It's just essentially an unfinished movie, but of course you have one of the best directors of all time. Gaz put me on to Heat too. I should have did more research for this. Shout out to all my Heisters. I did a lot of research for this, though, but I should have watched LA Takedown, so for things you can dock me on, I should have watched LA Takedown. I didn't get to it yet. I'll probably watch it this weekend or soon. And I'm going to read the prequel or Heat 2 that Gaz put me on to, just so me and Gaz could be 100% fully loaded in position for whatever Michael Mann does next. Since we're letting the signal go out, we'll do some brief channel news. Give Gazzy the week off next week. The Zodiac Files returning with an interview, special guest. Haven't announced it yet, so I'll post the link maybe soon. And then you guys don't care about my personal life. Family emergency season. Gaz knows about it for sake of the schedule. The rest of you guys don't know about it. I'm not going to tell you about it because you're the internet. So it may impact the schedule. We'll try to stick to Good and Bad Ugly, the 27th, last show of the year. Allowing that, family emergency doesn't impact that. What up, Slipknot? Jay, I better see you in here. This is your pick. So that's the schedule. I think when me and Gazzy come back, like we said, a lot going on, guys. I mean, just so you know, guys, I finished the Masters, so at least I can watch movies and review them again. So I did get that free time back. But get that off the plate, you know what I mean? But I don't think we'll be back anytime soon in January. Me and Gaz are just going to handle behind the scenes, and then we'll be back most likely February. We've been talking about the Warriors. Me and Gaz have been talking about the Warriors behind the scenes, so maybe we'll come back with the Warriors. Until then, I'll try to get some other things that I need to get done channel-wise. But I think that does it. Rest in peace to Peter Green, The Mask. What are the other? I know he's in a bunch of huge things, and sorry guys, when you're in Masters mode, your brain just melts for a long time. Wait a minute, I just realized a massive mistake. Didn't have the Tyler Durden Fight Club glasses on, so I've lost half. I was only at 50% power. Now I've got the Durdens on, and now I'm back. But pick up your hoodie at Spring. Get your PXF. T-shirts, get your fleece blankets, get your glasses and coffee mugs pop off. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you can always get the comic book on Amazon, The Dark Rift. Volume 1, we will have Zodiac Files, Episode 5, The Lake Herman Road Ambush, and Episode 6, The Blue Rock Springs Attack popping off. Make sure you click join to get your membership. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. It is what it is. It's one of those things that you just need to deal with. Gaz has been through it before without putting his business out there. So we're going to handle it. We're going to make sure everything's on point for you guys. But today we are heisting. We are rocking Heat. Shout out to anyone who copped Payday 3 and all my heisters. Of course, my favorite Payday character, Dallas. Of course, I love the Dallas mask. So when I pull my first or last Heat heist, it'll definitely be rocking the Dallas mask. No disrespect to the hockey masks they rock in the movie. Love those, but I'm a Dallas dude. Or, of course, I always keep President Reagan nearby if I need to do a Bodie. Man, there's so much crazy stuff, guys. When we talk score, I have an overlap. Yeah. I have an overlap from what we were talking about with the Crow music that relates to Heat. I have an overlap with our Reservoir Dogs review that I was just telling Gaz about off air. So this is going to be a sick review, guys. We're going to relate it to a bunch of things that we've talked earlier. Like when I'm reading, like what I saw that related to the Crow stuff, I'm like, no way. Like this is insane. So.
Yeah, the soundtrack's actually pretty good. Something that's overlooked. I mean, I'm just going to say this because I have to be the miserable one. Could we just overlook the Reservoir Dogs part and stick on Heat? So much better.
It'll be the actual crime source material. It won't be. We won't get to Tarantino either, guys. I know he can't deal with it. I'll pull up. I think I already have the IMDb up, and we'll talk score and music. It's obviously sick. Landscapes, sunsets, that's classic Man, of course, Manhunter. I think I've ranted and raved at you before about it, Gaz, because Tarantino always talks about it. I think you maybe said you saw it, Thief, James Caan. I think it's 81. I think it's Man's first movie.
I don't think I have, but somebody has here. I know somebody brought it up.
So I'm going to rip up Thief soon, because that movie gets talked about all the time, and I'm just stuck on being a Man fanboy now after Heat and after The Keep. So, yeah, guys, if you're ready to rock, without further ado, we can get into it. Me and Gaz deep dive this freaking 3-hour epic. I guess the way I'll start is rest in peace to Val Kilmer. I want to talk about how it is, dude. It is. You know me. I love a grindhouse heist. You know what I mean? And when you have Mann directing, I got to see like how the novels like relate to his script, Gaz, because obviously he wrote L.A. Takedown thinking that the TV studios would greenlight a series, and that obviously never happened. It's my understanding that L.A. Takedown has Michael Rooker in it. You know, Guardians of the Galaxy fame, Walking Dead fame. So it does have a couple names in it. What up, Pixie? I hope you brought your heist mask. We're heisting today, so hit your local bank. You're going to be making a not a deposit, but more of a withdrawal, if you will.
Not that we're encouraging anything. Let me just disclaimer out.
PXF does not encourage illegal activity. We just say that you should watch Heat as many times as possible because it's a genius film.
Ask Santa to bring what you asked for from his
for sure
on the list you sent me.
And if you want to wear a Santa suit with your heist mask, who are we to tell you that you can't celebrate the holiday cheer? How if you take from the rich and give to the poor for your holiday miracle. We're not telling you what to do. We're not telling you how to celebrate your holidays here. So it obviously never gets picked up in the series, guys. And then he repens it. He actually wrote this, started writing it late 70s. And then he actually repens it for Heat, what we know as, Robert De Niro, Al Pacino. But I want to talk about Kilmer. He got paid a fraction of what Val Kilmer is worth, being an absolute legendary GOAT. And he told them that he wanted if they put him between De Niro and Pacino on the poster. So you can see his character, Chris, is right between. I always thought that was an awesome bit of trivia. Like, hey, you don't have to pay me much, but I know it's going to be a Michael Mann epic. Just put me in the middle of them on the poster. Very Val Kilmer thing to do because he's the man.
I mean, honestly, with that said, I mean, Val Kilmer's performance, I think, is absolutely on fire in this movie. And the cast itself, apart from a lot of known names now, or even then, everyone there is even Wes Studi in there, who was in Last of the Mohicans. I believe, wasn't he in the original Street Fighter movie?
Yeah, I believe so.
There's so many people in there: Dennis Haysbert, Natalie Portman, William Fichtner. It's on and on, man. John Voight.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about John Voight's character, and I'm going to let you handle this one, guys.
Oh no, Pixie, I like this. This is. I'll tell you my. It's
not as Reservoir Dogs for him.
Reservoir Dogs is absolute butt sauce and is absolute torture.
It doesn't show the heist. It drove guys nuts.
This has action. This is entertaining. The only bad in this movie is is the downtime when it's the stupid family melodrama. If they got rid of that, it would shave the running time down, and this would be so tighter. The TV scene, though, as we'll get to, that was funny.
Hilarious.
Where De Niro's insisting the guy sits down and watches the TV and kicks the TV out of Calais. So no, Pixie, I actually I do like this one.
Unfortunately, we did. Slipknot. Unfortunately, we did. We both thought it was butt cheeks. What I don't get is how are you going to have all these real fighters like Alex Volkanovski and like those were good castings, but you're just going to have completely unrealistic fight sequences.
Pixie, you know what? I'm a kung fu. I can't even say it because it's that good. Kung fu-der. I mean, see, it's that good. I can't even pronounce it. Kung Fu Panda. It's all day.
I could save guys on this. My editor of the Zodiac Files, Gabe, he's the Kung Fu Panda guy. Seriously, it's not Gaz. Yeah, dude, nobody thought it looked good. I mean, I like, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson's look for Balrog because he does look like him and he was a real boxer, but I think it's just like when they touch each other, it's just going to be CGI Marvel and there's going to be 10 feet between their punches. Don't sign all these MMA guys if they're not going to grapple, Yeah,
dude, it looks like such bad, like an anime movie, and it looks really, really bad and real cheese.
Shout out to casting, Cody Rhodes, of Dusty Rhodes Dynasty. Shout out to casting Roman Reigns, and I think both of them can be acting superstars. I just don't know if it's going to be Street Fighter because every time they do it, it comes out butt cheeks. Except for rest in peace, the dude that plays Bison and Van Damme, like you were talking about, guys. Like that guy was super dope. The rest of the movie was cheeks, but that guy was fire.
Cody did a couple of episodes of Arrow as well when he played.
Cody's sick.
He wasn't too bad in that.
I like Cody a lot. I like Roman.
Yeah, I don't mind. Well, I don't like WWE. It pretty much sucks. And Cody was good in TNA and he was good in AEW. It's too soft and toned down WWE. Yeah, Raul Julia.
All right, Slipknot, you're getting off track here. This isn't a Street Fighter review. Back to Heat. So we will do our synopsis, and then we'll get into me and Gazzy's notes, break down plot and such. I have Wiki up. What does it say on IMDb? A group of high-end professional thieves start to feel the heat from the LAPD when they unknowingly leave a verbal clue at their latest heist. Action epic, cop drama, epic, gangster, heist, psychological drama, true crime, action, crime, drama. We'll do some actors: Al Pacino, Vincent Hanna, Robert De Niro, Neil McCally, Val Kilmer, Chris Shirless, John Voight as Nate, Tom Sizemore as Michael Charito, a.k.a. Slick, Diane Benora, Justine, Amy Brennerman as Edie, Ashley Judd, Charlene Shirless. Of course, there's Drucker. Of course, there's Wes Studi, plays Casals, as Gaz said. Who am I missing here? William Fichtner Van Zandt. You've seen him as the holdover in Dark Knight. Obviously, that the first 5 minutes of Dark Knight heist, guys. The influence is obviously quite obvious. Natalie Portman, Pacino's daughter. So well stacked
too.
Hank Azaria. I mean, very very well stacked. Of course, Danny Trejo plays Trejo. We're going to talk about his crime consultants. Love Danny Trejo. Shout out to the music is sick, dude. Is it Elliot? Is it what's that guy's name? Is it Goldstein? I believe it's something like that. The guy who did the guy who scored it. So we'll definitely talk that. I'm sure it's on the Wikipedia. So right off the bat, De Niro off the train, guys. It gets popping. The Michael Mann camera angles are pretty pretty obvious right when it pops off. Actually, before that, I'll read the intro on Wiki, and then me and Gazzy had to take notes for this one, guys, because it's a 3-hour epic. So me and Gaz will kind of get into.
We were actually prepared.
Can you believe it? Well, what's wrong with these guys? Ross finished his master's. He's back to actually, remembering the movie he watched. Opened up some old space in the old brainberry. Heat is a 1995 American epic crime drama film written and directed by Michael Mann. It features an ensemble cast led by Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, with Tom Sizemore, John Voight, Val Kilmer in supporting roles. The film follows the conflict between a LAPD robbery homicide detective played by Pacino and a career thief played by De Niro, while also depicting its effect on their professional relationships and personal lives. Mann wrote the original script for Heat in '79, basing it on Chicago police officer Chuck Adamson's pursuit of criminal Neil McCally, after whom De Niro's character is named. The script was first used for a television pilot developed by Mann, which became the '89 film LA Takedown after the pilot did not receive a series order. In '94, Mann revisited the script, turned it into a feature film, co-producing the project with Art Linson. He's apparently like a big deal, guys, and they just worked very closely. The film marks De Niro and Pacino's first on-screen appearance together following a period of acclaimed performances from both due to their esteemed reputations. Promotions centered on their involvement. Heat was released by Warner Bros. Been in the news a lot lately, and again, guys, this is why I've been so concerned, because Warner Bros. Owns so many things that me and you are massive fanboys of, like Mad Max. And if it gets messed up, you know what I mean. I don't want to see Justin Bieber playing Vincent Hanna and Heat 2.
I don't know what to expect. What Disney did to Predator, so yeah,
100%, dude. Heat PG-13. I'm sure that'd be real crazy. Warner Bros. On December 15th, '95, it grossed 187.4 million on a $60 million budget, received positive reviews for Mann's direction and the performances of Pacino and De Niro. The film is regarded as one of the most influential films of its genre and has inspired several other works. A sequel has been in development since 2022. We never hear anything about the sequel. Sick of it all. Awesome. Henry Rollins, the Henry Rollins cameo. Man, I almost forgot about him. He's the man. Love that guy. So, me and Gazzy's notes, or we'll pull up plot, and then we'll kind of go side by side with me and Gazzy's notes. Plot: Neil McCally, a Los Angeles professional thief, and his crew, Chris Shirless, Michael Cerrito, Gilbert Trejo. Well, I wasn't realized that Trejo had a first name because on IMDb he's just Trejo. And Wayne Grow rob a 1.6 mil in bearer bonds from a unarmored car. However, Wayne Grow kills a guard without reason, leading the crew to kill the 2 other guards. McCally plans to kill Wayne Grow for the guard's deaths, but Wayne Grow escapes. McCally doesn't know Wayne Grow is a serial rapist and a murderer. Unfortunately, used the R word because I was reading, but hopefully we don't get tripped up there, guys.
A serial vapist. He's a vapist.
Yes. He was a big vapor.
Vapist YouTuber.
Yep. Intro shot. So our boy Neil McCally, De Niro getting off the train. That those are all real LA locations, might we add. That first heist, guys, very iconic, hockey masks, just getting the action popping right away. Absolutely love the trucks, the use of the trucks, the big 18-wheelers. So we can talk about crime consulting. Trejo as the driver. So a lot of people don't know. Trejo is brought on because as a crime consultant. And then he's, making it realistic. Obviously, for those who don't know, Trejo, a little background on Trejo. He is an ex-con that spent a lot of his time in prison for actual crime. When he gets out, he's a crime consultant for Hollywood. Is so good at it that he starts getting pulled into on-screen roles. He has it in his contract that any time he plays a criminal, he has to die because he wants, kids and people coming up that are watching it to see that crime doesn't pay. So Trejo, very stand-up guy. Check out me and Gazzy's Machete review. So obviously his first lead role in his career, known as the Hitman in Desperado with the throwing knives. Just a very iconic dude. Big lady in a sombrero hat, massive tattoo on his chest. That's kind of what he's known for. Jack, dude. What up, Tim? Timmy's in the house. Timmy's a heister. He's a Cooper guy. Go check out Tim's stuff. Check out the groups on Facebook. He's a TB Cooper Skyjacker. So we're heisting today, Timmy. So, you know what I mean? Brought my boy Dallas with me in case it gets real. So, you know what I mean? If it pops up.
I just really hope there isn't some news headlines that have been inspired.
PXF inspires heist from Heat review. Before it's just in time for Heat 2, right? Yeah, maybe get me on Michael Mann's radar.
You're this. Doing some real life consultancy there, Sid. So you guys were sat there reviewing,
telling everybody how awesome and great that the heist sequences were. People, inspiring people to try it. We will get into the real life overlap. So anyway, I mean, guys, of course, it's the intro scene. Everybody knows it. It's just the very, just extreme. Obviously, so many things. What's that game? Army of Two. Basically, I think pulls a lot from it, and then obviously Payday, obviously many other Gaz said heist games, and obviously first 5 minutes of Dark Knight. He did. Ted Braden was a heister, as we know. Was he Cooper? Probably. I'm gonna kill my autofocus in case it messes things up, and my boy Dallas has to jump in and save me here and revive me. All right, so it pops off. Just initial reactions to that heist, Gazzy.
Oh man, I think it's such a great opening because it's got everything it's very well choreographed. The angles, the filming, the action scenes, the snappy dialogue. You're immediately introduced to the weak link in the crew, the guy who's obviously unstable, who we later find out is the vapist.
Who's a scumbag?
The murderer, so it already sets up that dynamic that is going to be a problem, and it's probably going to have to deal with that. So it's just such a great. It's gripping. It's going to have some good action. It takes hold of the audience. You're not going to be bored.
It is gripping. Yeah, it's cool. It's a bit like what me and Gaz said about Tombstone, when the bad guys are so cool, because this is the type of movie where it really follows McCally's heister crew, which is Chris Shirless, Kilmer, Sizemore, Cerrito, and then obviously McCally. And although it follows Hanna, you could already, kind of like what I was saying about Devil's Rejects, you could almost make the argument that they want Vincent Hanna, Al Pacino to be the villain, because he's the cop and he's the bad guy and he's chasing them and he's breaking up the party. Obviously in real life he's the good guy because the cop needs to stop the heisters from killing people and heisting. But the way that the plot of the movie is, it's man, the camera follows De Niro, it's like man wants you to like the Heisters. You know what I mean? He wants you to think they're going to get away. You know.
Well, the way that's set up. What's interesting with that, Ross, is the way it's set up. If the guy who offs one of the security guards, right?
Wayne Gross shoots the guard.
Wayne Gross, yeah. If he wasn't so unstable, De Niro and his crew, they would have probably tried to keep it clean because De Niro pretty much establishes that he has a clean way of doing things, an honorable way of doing things.
About the money.
We want to avoid the necessary. We just want to get in there, get what we need, do the job, and we're done. And De Niro's character becomes angry because he's then forced to take 100%. Out the guards, which obviously is how Pacino and them then further get onto
witnesses, 100%.
And the exchange which we'll get to between De Niro and Pacino, and then we come back to that at the end.
McCally and Hanna.
There's still show, Ross, that Mann is wanting you to have that sympathy for De Niro's character. Okay, this isn't a good guy. It's a villain, clearly, but it's wanting you to say he's had to go along this path because things didn't go to his principles. It didn't go to plan. They had an unstable element that jeopardized the whole operation. 100%. And he shows that in that conversation and at the end. Even I'll wait till we get there, but just that dialogue, Pacino's character where he says, look, I'll have to, words alluding, I'll have to do my job at
the heat coming around the corner.
Yeah. And then of course De Niro, McCally flips that on him as well. So 100, man.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think the whole microcosm is the mistake, Wayne Gross' mistake in this first heist, leading to Hanna's detail being onto McCally's crew. Yeah. So Wayne Gross, kudos to the actor. He does it, absolutely kills the role. I hate the character. A guy like that would drive me crazy. I would end up slapping his face off in the first 30 seconds of meeting him. If he was in my crew, I'd beat the brakes off him. But I think it establishes he's got the Third Reich SS logo on his neck. Anybody like me and Gaz that watch a lot of World War II movies, you know what the Struppen Third Reich stormtroopers are. I think he has some other imagery. What does he have? Like the swastika on his chest somewhere, Gazzy, when he shows him with his shirt off. They're obviously all jail guys, ex-cons, but he's clearly like the far right, kind of extremist one, right? Of them. What up, Jay? We're here, buddy. This is your pick. We're heisting today, buddy. My boy, wait, where did I put Dallas? Dallas is here for you, Jay. So we're all gonna get paid today, baby, payday. So, what I was telling Wall Street guys when we were watching it is looked like the security guards were like mixed, like a white guy, and then the other guys kind of looked Hispanic. So I felt like the reason Wayne Gross was talking crap to him. First of all, let's talk about it. Their ears got blown out from the charge on the back of the truck. So those guys couldn't hear anything. They couldn't hear any of the get down on the ground.
Yeah, and they even say that to him. They even say that to Wayne.
Idiot, his ears are blown. He can't hear your commands.
Yeah.
You gotta just force them down. I mean, you guys have the guns. So he's like, you could see that Wayne Gross was thinking about killing him because he's eyeing him up in the face. You want to F with me? And I feel like he shot him because he was a non-white, and that forced, he hates all other races, it seems.
And that would link into one of those other, I'll just say, very bad scenes. Thankfully, you don't see it, but that would link in with the psychology behind that as to why this character is doing so. So yes, very well observed.
That's what I thought. I hate the ending. I wanted Neil to get away to New Zealand. Who knows? I mean, there's heat too. It would have been nice. So that's kind of what we were just saying, Jay. It's like the way the intro starts, and with McCally's team, crew being so cool is. Yeah, it seemed like Michael Mann. A bit like Scarface, a bit like what Brian De Palma did in Scarface, right? The movie essentially follows a bad guy. There's at no point you think Tony Montana's some good guy, but it builds him up to be such a legend. You start rooting for him.
Exactly.
Devil's Rejects.
Yeah, so everyone remembers the character for that reason. I mean, if you could argue, Ross, if Gross wasn't so unstable, the movie wouldn't have been heat. It would have essentially been like. Madly warm because they would have probably been
the Heisters just knock over every score and just pretty much go unopposed. So there's so according to what Gaz sent me, Mann has some sort of prequel novel, and then Heat 2 apparently I think bounces back and forth in the timeline between I guess before and after Heat. So I'm not quite as versed on it as you guys expected me to be, but I will be catching up on it before the movie
This is
drops.
all we know, Jay. It says 1988 Chicago, McCally and his gang carry out robberies on the west coast and the Mexico-USA border. Detective Hanna kills McCally in a confrontation at LAX years later. Sorry, folks, spoiler, in LA. Hanna hunts down Chris Shirless, the group's last survivor. So that's all it's known. I did say to Ross, I do want to read the novel. Apparently it was released in 2022 just to get an idea of what they're probably going to do with the film and the story behind it as well.
Getting ahead of us, but Chris Shirless, what happens to him? He pulls up, his wife gives him the signal. They obviously
Val's so underrated, man, in this, Jay. Val is awesome.
I was going to ask you, do you think that's the best performance in the movie, guys?
Yeah, easy. I love Val's.
He had the most emotion. He still loved his wife. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's pretty sick. So
Hands down.
Kid.
Yeah, and McCally is looking out for his crew because there's a part where they're talking about like actually doing a heist, Ross, and he even says to Tom Sizemore, you know, your wife loves you, etc. And you know, you've got a girl that loves you. You can walk away and everything. So he is still looking out for them. So they have a bit of that. I feel Kilmer, De Niro, and Sizemore, the three of them in this movie, they show the characters as having that bond, as having that tight-knit crew. Yep. And of course, Wayne Gross was the one, as we know, who is the unstable, obviously a bit of a lunatic. Yeah,
he's scum. Yeah. What do you think about Pacino, Vincent Hanna?
Yeah, no, Pacino's awesome in this as well. Really good. Like I said, as we'll get to, the only things I don't like about this movie is just the family melodrama, which I feel if you took all of that out of the film, it would have been tighter and cut down the running time. That's it. However, the TV scene is amusing, as we'll get to.
Yeah, I agree with your point. I think, like I said, a lot of it was from Mann's friend, who was like Admonson, who was like the real cop. And I think from the stories he was telling Mann, like, that's how it is, right? Like, sure, you have the crime and the shootouts on the street, but at the end of the day, you do go home to your wife and you're taking all that crap from your day with you. 100%. Yeah, it's like realism, you know. So it's like, again, and anyway, interestingly enough, what Mann said about it is that it's not crime and it's not a genre piece. Like he said, it's a drama. So I think that's like his idea of the realism. He's just a really good director that crams 50 genres into a movie. Like what I see, obviously, what Gaz was saying in the beginning, I see the noir, the French New Wave, what Gaz was saying about the French Connection. One of those other movies called Breathless, and obviously Humphrey Bogart, Casablanca, and all the old that's what I saw in this last watch. Was I saw the noir. You know what I mean? Because he's got that smoky lighting. The shout out to the director of photography, because the lighting and heat is freaking amazing. So
that detective side, because there's a scene where they go to I think it's a port area, and McCally's watching Vincent Hanna in his offices, and Hanna figures, they're watching us now. But the way he breaks down the scenes and goes through that, so that has that detective element. You see that that's definitely where the detective noir comes in. And the famous conversation, Ross, that's straight out of something like Humphrey Bogart.
100%. Yeah. The Maltese Falcon. I mean, I could give you guys a bunch of those. I mean, so the whole aspect of the LAPD surveillance on the heisters, Neil McCally doing reverse surveillance on the cops, right? That's not something you see in a lot of heisting. So just showing the level of heist IQ, is absolutely insane. Neil in the hotel room, you're going to give Chris a chance. Oh, yelling at his wife in the closet. Yeah, that's awesome. I really like that part too. If it doesn't work out, I'll finance you myself. Yelling at some guy's wife, probably not very woke. Can't really get away with it now, but in mid-90s, you know what I mean? It flew. So 10 minutes in, you have the main heisting shootout, as we were saying in plot. And obviously we're talking about Wayne Grow being scum. Gaz alluded to the I like the allusion to the serial killer theme, because that's like a very very nuanced reference to what Michael Mann did in Manhunter. I don't know if you've seen that, Gaz, but it's the original Hannibal film. So it goes Manhunter, then later on, Anthony Hopkins gets picked up for Silence of the Lambs, which absolutely explodes. And then later on, there's Red Dragon, another prequel with Edward Norton. But I think that was like Wayne Grove being a serial killer. That was like Michael Mann in his like Manhunter bag. So it's like he still got it in there. Like that's what I said about the film having maybe 5 or 6 subgenres. You know, crime, noir, cop and robber, heist, action. You know what I mean? Like that's really what makes this dude. Oh man, I should. So I know it's streaming on Paramount. You know what? I really like that, Jay. I don't know if Chris would like really like want his son to be a heister because of all the violence in the first saga, but I guess maybe if his son finds out about what happened to Chris's crew, you know, he could want to get some get back against Vincent Hanna. That's really sick, dude. That's a dope idea. I like that a lot. So when they're doing surveillance and Hanna's talking about setting them up at the next heist, he's like, the next time these guys come out, they're going to get a surprise of a lifetime. That was a sick line. Just some highlighting some Michael Mann dialogue. Obviously, like later on, there's like the car chase scene, which has a really, really smooth score. The 2 helicopters, guys. Like, so when I look at the $60 million budget, like this is one of those movies where I'm like, dude, it's only $60 million because they use the choppers all the times for the shootouts, all the stuff they blow up. I'm like, apparently that was real firearms they were shooting in the shootout, and they were using blanks. And it's even said that guys referenced the final shootout. We're coming up to it, but apparently they show that to Marines as like, this is how you properly cover your unit. So everything was like, it wasn't based on anything real, but it had more like a reverse effect of other things happening, you know. So
I'm going to say it now, and this is why, and we'll talk more about this as we get to the end, but this is why I think he would be good to do a war movie, or as we said, something like 100%. This, but set in World War II, something like that.
Go back and fix the keep, maybe, if he has the time.
Because that shootout, as we're getting to, that does feel like a war movie. For that moment, you forget that you're watching a heist movie. Look, so this is probably why someone like me I'm putting this as respectfully as I can because I realize there's a big crime audience here.
Yeah, he's not a big crime guy.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, it's pretty obvious if you've seen it, unless it's anything to do with the Far East. Then I am. I watched. Yeah, gang. I watched so much.
That's more like gang violence than like any kind of organized heisting thing. But they got it all.
Exactly. So, but that whole scene is like a war movie, Ross, and I would say to 100%. Anyone, if they do not, I'll say it now, Ross, if they do not like this movie, that's fine. If it's not for them, I would say just watch the shootout, just watch that scene.
Just watch the heist, even, but that final shootout.
That is fantastic, man.
Oh, it's insane. I mean, the Michael Mann, again, coming back to the angles, the lighting, like, again, I'll have to look up the director of photography, or if you Google it, I'll throw it in the chat. Insane. I mean, the lighting, the Michael Mann angles. I mean, this is 95, and I've never seen. Pixie, you were just as desensitized as me. It's crazy. I'm gonna give you one Dallas mask for that. Yeah, a lot of good Al Pacino dialogue, another legend. So where was I? Okay, so we'll rip through some plot. LAPD robbery homicide detective Lieutenant Vincent Hanna and his team, detectives Bosco, Drucker, Casals, and Schwartz, investigate the robbery. Hanna, a dedicated lawman and former Marine, has a strained relationship with his third wife, Justine. I will say Justine did have a good performance, guys, even though it wasn't my favorite exchanges. She did hold down the role.
Oh yeah, the
acting. It wasn't like overacting. There's a couple overacting moments in the film, but it wasn't too it never crossed the unrealistic line where it's you could believe that she's with a guy like Hanna and stuff like that. So, Justine struggles to connect with his stepdaughter Lauren. It's obviously a young Natalie Portman of Star Wars and V for Vendetta fame. McCally lives a solitary life, begins a relationship with Edie, a graphic designer. The pair bond over their mutual isolation from society. I mean, that was the only problem. Sure, De Niro is a good-looking guy and he could get this woman's attention and stuff, but how long till she finds out? He said he was a salesman. It's dude, you're never around, and every time you go out at night, you get in a massive shootout.
Conferences, weekends.
conventions. I got a convention this weekend, baby. I saw in the news that downtown got completely destroyed.
It was a field trip. I was doing research. They took notes.
Oppo research. Sure. So it's whatever. I mean, and I don't think she's a terrible actress either. I see Gaz's point on that. McCally's fence, Nate, suggests that he sell the stolen bonds to their original owner, money launderer Roger Van Zant. It's obviously William Fichtner, who's the holdover character in the Dark Knight heist scene. Van Zant pretends to agree, but instead arranges an ambush, anticipating a trap. McCally and his crew counter ambush and kill the hitman. I definitely want to talk about that scene, guys. Whoever did location scouting on that old drive-in where they did the handoff, absolutely insane. Obviously, Shirless gives McCally the heads up in the comms, and he backs up the car and jams that guy between the two trucks. Extremely hyper-violent shootout, guys. I'm sorry about that, but they completely dumped the clips. Obviously, Shirless on the tripod, like 50 cal. McCally's pistol in the car. Sizemore, a.k.a. Sharito, 12 gauge. It's like for such a short handoff gone wrong. There's some extreme destruction and violence in that scene. But awesome. I love the location, that old drive-in. Whoever, I don't know if that's Michael Mann or his location scout, whoever found that, genius level location scouting. Anything else, guys, or it was just a sick location?
I just think, as we've been saying, the way the guys operate in this, not kind of like a typical heist crew. You wouldn't think it is. You could almost say they were, in one guy, ex-forces pulling off a heist. Experts. Yeah, so and it has that feel, Ross, and every time that happens, I'll say this, the downtime family parts, it's like I've been saying, that's my only gripe with the film, and that's minor. Yeah. That's it for me. Yeah. Because the action scenes are so good, you're waiting for the next one. Like, you hit with another adrenaline rush when you get to it.
Yeah, I like how they do the surveillance before the heist and all that stuff. It makes it realistic. It's not like you're just like, hey, it's like that's the thing about Reservoir Dogs. Like, even though the movie's sick, like you're just gonna like pop up on this jewelry store and just roll up in there and grab everything. Like, if it was that easy, everyone would be doing it 24 hours a day. So it takes a little bit more nuance, a little bit more.
Well, it helps set up the atmosphere and the intensity as well by doing that, especially when it might not go according to plan.
100%. Yeah, well, you got to have plan B, plan C, plan D. You have to have all those exits. You have to have all those exits.
On the flying kiss, the first 5 didn't work as well.
Yeah. I'm sure that no cops are going to pull up on us during this heist. You can't really go into a heist with that. You know what I mean? It's like, again, like I said, crime would happen literally 24 hours a day if that were the case. Dante Spinati looks like he's one of my Italian brothers. Shout out to him. I love the sunsets, Michael Mann's use of the skyline, guys. Those are all like, token, Michael Mann shots, I assume, DP and cinematographer and the look of Manhunter, Thief, Heat, they all have that kind of LA Malibu kind of thing going on. Michael Mann, a genius, but then everybody underneath him, his whole cast and crew, every person brings their A game, and that's what you notice about Michael Mann films.
Even the amount of characters, there's I don't think there's really a bad performance. I mean, some of the criticisms, as we were chatting about earlier, that people were saying with the pacing issues, and I don't even think the pacing is that bad. And a lot of people comment on it. I get the family kind of vibe, though. I'm with them on that. Yeah. But then I've heard some say, well, the acting from the minor characters isn't that great. And I'm like, no, it is. I think everybody is memorable in this movie. They're all on point, even if they're just on screen for 2 minutes. I don't think there's really a bad performance to be
Jeremy Piven has a cameo as the Doctor. He's essentially a legend. I mean, you could pull out any, like I said, you could pull out any scene and find someone who's a minor character in Heat. But it's difficult with an ensemble cast. I mean, you're saying, okay, Natalie Portman, she's obviously young, so I'm not going to dock her performance because she obviously got way better later in career. She's like She's like a young, early teenager in this movie. So it's like, okay, she's not a Robert De Niro level actor, but she's like 14 or something. So it's when they say minor characters, okay, so you're comparing them to like these Oscar winners, De Niro and Pacino, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's not apples to apples. You really can't say someone who has like 2 years acting under their belt is going to put up a Val Kilmer level performance. You know what I mean?
They're all pretty solid because didn't she do what was the movie with Jean Reno? Slip, help me.
The Professional.
Was it The Professional she did with Jean Reno or something?
Leon, the Professional. Yeah, that movie's dope too. Yeah, another heister assassin movie, another crime film. So her resume becomes actually epic. I'm just saying, if you look at Heat and say, okay, the best, maybe Natalie Portman's not the best actor at Heat, dude. She's like 27 on the call list. Like, give me a break.
Bro, you've even got William Fichtner, like in fairly early role.
He's a genius.
He's more known now, but he's good. Van Sant. He's quite memorable in this. He has some good moments. So he's
awesome. I love him in Dark Knight.
Yeah, there's not really, like I said, there's not really a bad performance. Yeah, that's an awesome movie, Slip. Yeah.
Timmy, are you a Braden guy? What do you think about the Cooper audio? He took the dummy parachute with him in the jump. That changes things. Is that what they said? That's what they said in the audio? Wow, I got to get up on my Cooper. Police audio is probably done by the CIA via middleman. Maybe Cooper was CIA. Yeah, they talked about it. I don't know if Cooper's CIA. Well, I mean, I guess Timmy, you're a Braden guy, and I technically, Braden's not CIA. Obviously, they don't just let a guy like that out of Fort Knox, right? So Braden is something. The Professional's cool. So, okay, I want to talk about John Voight's character, Nate. Sick performance. I love how, McCally has that, information dude on comms, super clever. He's based on Eddie Bunker, who I believe is, Mr. Blue in Reservoir Dogs? And so Eddie Bunker is obviously a crime consultant on Reservoir Dogs at Heat. Eddie Bunker is a real heister. I think he's another ex-con. So, again, that's another moment of, Trejo. You have these essentially actual heisters. I mean, Trejo reformed his life after prison. So, I mean, to say that Heat is not the most accurate thing where Michael Mann, he gets all the stories from real guys. A lot of it comes from, like we said, the Chicago cops and the Chicago heist where McCally was operating, the real McCally. But again, then you've got guys like Eddie Bunker. He's obviously a West Coast gangster. You've got guys like Danny Trejo that are really good in the streets. So I just don't know that other than Reservoir Dogs, which doesn't show you the heist, as Gaz has reminded us, I don't know that there's a more accurate depiction other than Heat, where it's got every fact right. They had the military consultants, the firearms consultants, the crime consultants. Of course, you have Michael Mann. There's some questions about that, Jay. I'll concede. Go ahead, Gaz.
Not at the moment, unless somebody does eventually make a film of this kind that is actually better than this for what it does. So
it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough without having. I mean, the best I can do is whatever DiCaprio does in Heat 2 with Christian Bale. And I mean, I will say this: Austin Butler does look a lot like Val Kilmer. So I mean, I could see him playing Chris Shirless, and I think Austin's gotten better, guys. I mean, I haven't seen his. Who did he play? Was it Elvis? I haven't seen all of his new stuff, but that Fade Rotha villain in Dune 2 was pretty sick. It wasn't the best villain we've ever seen, like we said, but it was a good performance. So let
me ask you this real quick: would you then? So the Heat 2, from what we know and from the bit we've read, and we'll know more when we obviously read the actual novel, is going to be a prequel. Would you preferred a sequel then? As Jay was alluding to, or are you fine with this?
I like what Jay said. My understanding is what DiCaprio was saying is it will be totally its own thing, so it won't rely too much on Heat 1. But my understanding is it will jump back and forth to before and after. So maybe I got that wrong. Like we said, there's basically nothing about this, but there's talk of Pacino maybe being Hanna. That'd be cool if he was an older Hanna, retired, and they were consulting him. I don't know where it's gonna go. We got to talk to Mann. So
a bit like, didn't they do that with the sequel to the 300, where that was before and after, and that worked? That was actually pretty cool.
So I like that one.
So they did that with Heat too. That would be cool.
Yeah, that's what I heard. We know that, again, Michael Mann started writing this in 79 or whatever it was. It didn't come out till freaking 95. So, I mean, I don't think, because apparently he's been talking about Hate 2 since 2022. So he probably doesn't need that long now that it's an established universe. But I mean, I like what I'm hearing. I like what DiCaprio said about not biting off one too much. Christian Bale, obviously a Brit. He's a Welsh lad, but I mean, he's incredible. He's probably maybe one of the best at American accents outside of Gary Oldman. So I mean, I don't ever have a problem when they cast Bale. So you know what I mean. I can work with that.
Well,
so let's get back
Billy
in.
Butch. Yeah.
I love him. Oh man, shout out to I'd call you a C word. Shout out to the Boys season 5 trailer. Oh, whoa, Pixie, you're banned from the chat. I'm gonna have to get a new mod. The only thing I liked it was what's eating Gilbert Grape. He seems like a douchey guy in real life. Yeah, but isn't he essentially like a De Niro protege? So you probably think De Niro's pretty douchey as well.
I've always thought like DiCaprio is actually quite close to Jack Nicholson in terms of.
Well, obviously, what's it called? The Departed, right? Would you say Nicholson was like mentoring him in the crime genre because he's the older? Yeah, I like that. I like where you took that. I don't know. I'm a DiCaprio fanboy. Sorry, I'm an Italian boy. I don't know. I think you need to revisit The Revenant, Pixie, because if you really can't, I mean, The Wolf of Wall Street, The Revenant. I mean, people would say the resume is pretty insane. I mean, I thought The Revenant was nuts.
See, this is what's awesome, Pixie. So you have enough horrors locked away like I do. So I think you're a Kung Fu Panda fan as well. So.
I'm not going to let you guys go in on my boy, although I heard he did order pizzas from New York to LA. That was a little bit much, but he's DiCaprio. He's got the money to burn, right? I just heard that Rock is a James Bond movie because some other movie that is Heat 2, Machete, wasn't one of the guys in the crew. You're talking about Trejo, I guess, Gilbert Trejo, my man Danny Trejo. He's my boy. So let's get back into where we're at. So we're talking about Nate based on Eddie Bunker. Gaz was talking about Van Zant, obviously our boy Fitchner. We were talking about the handoff, the shootout. I mean, I thought Sizemore kind of went crazy with that 12 gauge, guys. Lighting up the truck. That was awesome. Little background on Sizemore. If you guys revisit, rest in peace to the GOAT. If you guys revisit our interview with Mike O'Day from the Equalizer 1, hard to believe that we have any connections whatsoever because we mostly just talk about sci-fi movies and nerd out. But there was talk about getting a PXF Tom Sizemore interview. Obviously, it's not going to happen now, so rest in peace. But we did have a connection that was at the time talking to him. So we were hoping to get even just something short with him. But, who knows what the future holds. Maybe we can get somebody, of that caliber down the line. But that obviously, I have John Philbin, who played Nathaniel from Point Break.
Yeah, and Hines was cool as well from way back in the day. He was amazing. A super cool dude. He talked all about Universal Soldier filmmaking, broke it down for us. Really cool, humble guy. Yeah, there's talk about him. He obviously did, what was that, Black Summer on Netflix. I thought that was a really good zombie project. And then what else? He did a few other new things, too. There's talk about him doing, I think, a Maniac Cop remake, which I dude, those movies are fire, especially the second one. Second one's fire, man.
Yeah, so rest in peace to Sizemore. Obviously, it won't happen now, but, I mean, just go rewatch his movies from Heat to Point Break to Saving Private Ryan to Black Hawk Down. The guy arguably has one of the best resumes I've seen. So we were talking about Nate. We were talking about Eddie Bunker. And that's the counter ambush to the handoff at the old drive-in. LAPD informant connects Sharito to the robbery. It's our man Sizemore, and Hanna's team begins monitoring him, identifying the rest of the crew and their next target, a precious metals depository. I was trying to figure out what the hell that place was, guys. I mean, I'm going to need to watch Heat 1 like 2 or 3 more times because, as Gaz said, it's a 3-hour epic and there's so much detail that I'm trying to follow everything the heisters are doing, and it's like it moves kind of quick if you're not paying really close attention. The team stakes out a depository, subsequently breaks in, but when a careless officer makes a noise, McCally aborts the heist. Hanna refuses to arrest them for breaking and entering since he thinks their charges will be dropped down to the misdemeanors. And I think that's 100% right. I love this exchange here, guys. The infrared camera, Hanna in the truck. Now, to give you guys some background, this is based on an actual real heist, one of McCally's heists, in the real McCally, when I say that, heist in Chicago. They were heisting a department store, and one of the cops made a step, and McCally heard it, and they went down in the basement to listen, and then one of the cops went to use the bathroom, so they knew that they were being staked out, so they bounced. So this is a reflection of an actual... Now, like I said, not all of the heists are based on actual events, but quite a few of them actually are. The last one's not, but very realistic nonetheless. My favorite part here is when shirtless Kilmer climbs the telephone pole, guys, with those spikes. Just like this, and then he's using the freaking drill, which I'm going to give one Dallas mask for the drill. Of course, you use those in Payday 2, Payday 3. But I love this whole sequence. Any impressions that you have from this sequence, guys?
Just the same as you. I just think it's very, very well put together. Yeah, very well paced. There's nothing, no detail left out, and like you said, I'm sure we'll have missed it. I know I'm stressing this. That's why when I read about some of the criticisms people had, where they said they had a pacing issue. Okay, yeah, it's a long movie, and you know where I am on my things, what I think could make it short. But I thought the pacing isn't slow, Ross. It isn't.
No, I agree with you. I mean, me, I can do the slow burn. I know most people can. I'm a little more of a crimey heister than most.
Yeah, but dude, I liked, and this is rare for me. Pixie, you might want to take a note of this as well. But The Irishman, I liked that, and that was slow paced. Yeah, and I enjoyed that movie, which is unusual for me, but I did.
Yeah, I just brought this up, but I don't care how long the movie is. Now, granted, I could never watch part 1 and 2 back to back. I broke it up over a couple of days, but when you're talking about De Niro, Pacino, Harvey Keitel, Joe Pesci, so, the more top-tier legendary names you add, it gets harder and harder to criticize.
If you think about it, it's like a whole season of a TV series in a way put into a movie, and I don't mean that in a detrimental manner at all.
You just crammed the whole epic of the narrative, and I think that came from what he thought it was going to be. Like we were saying, LA Takedown was supposed to be that pilot that he thought was. So I think he had all the narrative, and when they said like, "Hey, we're not going to greenlight you," he was like, "I don't care what you think. I'm just going to cram this into one." Almost like wasn't. Lucas's Star Wars was supposed to be like 6 movies or something like it. Or originally it was supposed to be 1, right? But then he realized it was way too long, so he broke it in 3. I think the same thing applies to Heat. Like, he probably had that whole season at least storyboarded. And like you said, he's like, I'll just cherry pick the best heists and make it one, homogenized.
From a writing perspective as well, Ross, you have your... I have to try and think of another word here because YouTube might jump on me with this. It's got its beginning, middle, and end well perfected. Can't use the word I was gonna say, especially with the subject matter. But it's well finished in those areas. Perfect example from that point, from the narrative point. I'm
gonna watch it more, Jay. I feel you.
Oh yeah, Jay. It's a good film. When I'm saying I don't like the family parts, it doesn't mean I don't. That's it. I think the movie is fine. It's
just what holds up the least on rewatches. I've probably seen it maybe 3 or 4 times, but like I said, I could watch it a few more and get some more detail. We'll talk about Sharito.
Man, yes, Jay, that would be cool. But Jay, you've got to get his captain from OG Beverly Hills angry on the phone at him, so what the hell are you doing, Axel? That would be awesome after that.
Me guys who watched the new one. I mean, of course Murphy's my man. Sharito gets killed. He should have walked away. He had plenty to put away. I mean, that's what McCally told him. Gaz was saying, I would have cut loose, walk away. Juice wasn't worth the squeeze. I feel it. I think, it's a bit like what I was saying about that Scarface mythos, which is like, I think McCally's crew is like addicted to the rush. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, like, Chris Shirless, he has like a baby and a wife, but like he's one of the most aggressive ones. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know if they can stop. Even McCally himself, he had the chance to get on the plane to like New Zealand, but he wanted to go take out Wayne Grow because Wayne Grow screwed them all. You know what I mean? So the whole full circle of like Michael Mann is like crime pays, and like you're not going to be able to stop yourself if you're immersed in the life. You're not going to be able to walk away. I think that's kind of the mythos of Heat in some way.
It's definitely set up the tension for a lot of other kind of movies similar. Then I said this the other week, like American Gangster with Denzel Washington, that has that same kind of tension, grimy feel to it as well. Sick film. I argue a PXF classic in the crime genre. Ridley Scott, Russell Crowe. Is Al Pacino, how many movies? Al Pacino American. Hanna would be American. Is usually Italian, Cuban, ethnic. I think Hanna, I'd have to look. I'd have to assume it sounds like a Hispanic name. Pacino is obviously Sicilian. De Niro, I think, is part Sicilian. I'm Sicilian. So we're 3 Sicilian boys. So I don't know. It's a good question. I want to look that up. Is he supposed to be more of a LA Hispanic cop because he clearly has a New York accent? But whatever. I mean, it's Al Pacino, so it's like just like when he played Scarface. Like, you don't care that he's Sicilian because the performance is so top tier.
So let's get back on point. We're talking about Van Zant getting dusted. Obviously, we got to talk about when McCally brings Waingro to the diner for the after sit down, guys. Smashes his face on the table and then slams it on the window. Then he tries to jack him outside, and Sharito's like, "Hold on!" That cop drives by and turned around, and that's when Waingro got away. It was just
you've got Val on the lookout as well. Yeah, oh man, that the whole way that started and carries out.
That whole like just Waingro getting away and them trying to dust their own crew member, pretty sick.
Yeah.
Let's ask the girl, what do you want to be when you grow up? Says, I don't know. And Sizemore says, she doesn't know. She's just like me. I don't know either. Yeah, I mean, Sharito was clearly a heister that didn't want to do anything else despite having a family. It's just like the amount of risk these guys take. It's just crazy, you know what I mean? Let's see. So where were we at? The depository. We're talking about when Hanna let them go from the depository heist. McCally's crew plans one final bank robbery worth $12.2 million. Hanna stops McCally on the 105 freeway and invites him to coffee. They discuss their dedication to their jobs and personal limitations. Hanna talks about his failing marriage, and McCally admits he's also isolated. Both men admit to mutual respect, but declare that they will kill the other if necessary. Let's break that down, guys, because that's obviously the epic. To know she has a great ass. We'll talk about the legendary De Niro Hanna, Vincent Hanna versus Neil McCally face off. That's De Niro and Pacino. He obviously pulls him over on the freeway. They obviously essentially draw on each other. Looks like they might cap each other. And hey, can I buy you a cup of coffee? Yeah, sure. Why don't you follow me? So I mean, so we have an interesting juxtaposition, guys, because you were saying the internet criticism is like that the scene's not realistic.
Yeah, this is a thing, right? And this is why I feel this is interesting, because I'm not a crime guy. So although I've kind of contradicted myself and mentioned several crime films that I do like, so anyway, I don't know. Someone can explain why that is. But
I'll explain it right now. So what was I telling Gaz? This is actually based on a real conversation between Admonson and the real McCally. So it's something that actually happened. So all you internet critic geniuses, by the way, I think Siskel and Ebert rated it pretty high to talk about like the top tier critics. But you guys just said that a scene is not realistic that actually is based on a real event that actually did happen. So
and they also
you guys are wrong.
And they also said that this scene is too slow. It ruins the pacing. No, it doesn't. The family parts, I'm with you on that. Where I'm like,
not this scene.
Well, to be honest, I'm going to go for a shit whilst the family parts are on. That was pretty much, my take on that. Yeah, I'll be back. Time I've done that. Yeah. But this is kind of what you've been waiting for, because you've kind of got let's put it like this, Ross. You've got like two opposites of the coin here, both strategizing. One for law enforcement, the other guy's a heister. As you said with the detective noir, so think of it, it's one of those like 1930s gangster movies or something. Humphrey Bogart, whatever you said. 100%. The meeting, having that coffee, the dialogue, the exchange, where Pacino's saying, more or less, if I've got to do my job, I won't hesitate. I won't like it. Now I've met you face to face. And then Macaulay, De Niro, replies with, well, there's a flip side to that. I won't hesitate either, and I'll do what I've got to do because I want to get to where I've got to be. And you get the sense, and this is what's pretty cool, because although clearly Macaulay's character isn't a good guy, but as you were saying, Ross, the acting and the performance, because there's some principles there, it makes the audience have something like, I want this guy to get away, to get his peaceful end, his peace where he can leave this life behind him, because that's what he's going for. A bit like kind of remind me a bit of OG Point Break in that way as well.
100%. Bodie. Sector crew.
So it's got that conversation is fire, and that definitely sets the tone for the following sequences in the movie. So I've never understood that, why people just don't seem to like, people have said they don't like that scene. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
I thought it was
me.
Outside of like the final shootout, I thought it was the best scene in the movie. Of course, so based on the real event, Bobby De Niro didn't want to rehearse it with Pacino. Obviously, you guys know, like, they're friends and they know each other, two New York actors, blah, blah, done a bunch of movies together. But in terms of like this project, Bobby De Niro not wanting to rehearse it with Pacino to make the tension real when they first sit down, you know what I mean? Which I think is iconic, like in Goodfellas, and also reminiscent of the real meeting between, Adamson and the real McCally. So many lines, there's a flip side to that coin. If the heat's coming around the corner and I got to put you down, so I just love the mutual respect. For sure. I see that. I'll give you a Dallas mask for that.
Got to ask you this, Ross, as well. So we always talk about, film angles and shots as well. I think the where you see the table and the way the guys are shot as well. And yes, they're in there having coffee, and there's people around them, but it just zooms in and focuses on them. And it actually, it kind of, you feel like you're a passenger on the shoulder of both guys, and you're watching this in first person, and you just forget where they are and everything around them. It really hooks you in, and it's although it's a quietly spoken, delivered, monologue from both of them. There's still that intensity. There is that certainty. We both respect. There's kind of mutual respect in a way. I get you're doing this for some reasons. You want to get out there and get your piece. There's an end goal.
But my job is catching guys like you.
Yeah.
No, I love the old school cop and robbery thing. I was just ranting and raving about Casablanca, the Maltese Falcon, the Humphrey Bogarts, the French New Wave, the Breathless. So I love that. Gaz referenced French Connection. I love the cops and robbers theme. So to modernize it mid '90s like this, there could be so much said. The houses they both live in, they're both famous. Pacino's was a architect, a Santa Monica architect. De Niro's was Malibu, so there's just a lot about the 80s, 90s new wave architecture in terms of this face off here, just the amount of some of the most iconic lines. I like the De Niro monologue. The Pacino monologue. Hanna, he tells him that dream. I have this reoccurring dream. Me sitting down at the table with all the victims of all the families of all the cases I've solved. They all have black eyes. McCally says, what are they saying to you? They're not saying anything. They're just staring at me. They don't have anything to say. I think that's one of the most powerful monologues in the movie. That's basically Hanna's trauma of all the years of catching heisters, catching criminals, being on murder and robbery detail. Yeah. Another time you see that is when Gaz alluded to this, Wayne Growe's victim. He's obviously this, racist serial killer. He kills young women that are the opposite race of him, being white. Obviously, Hanna is on the trail of that because he's finding the victims. He eventually links that up to being Wayne Growe. When the girls, Gaz referenced this vaguely, when the girl's mother breaks through the yellow tape, Hanna, who the hell's that? That's the victim's mother. When he hugs her and you see Hanna's face, you can see the trauma of having this girl. First it happens to him on the job with finding the young underage girl and seeing the effect of the mother. I don't like it, but I will if it'll keep me cool, if it'll keep me hot.
You could even argue, Ross, it's even got in some regards Training Day feel as well.
Sure.
Yeah, it's even got that element.
Sure, Training Day, another epic, another street epic. So Hanna's reaction to the little girl's mother, obviously she's distraught what happened to her, but obviously the effect of Hanna, later on with Hanna and Justine, the reason why when he's late to dinner, he comes from the crime scene, the reason why he can't tell her what he deals with all day long, because then you're not just going to have the officer, Hanna, dealing with it, then you're going to have his wife sharing it, and he doesn't want to come home and put his job on her. Later on, Hanna deals with it himself, his daughter, finding her in the tub. A lot of people say that that's too far off of the main plot, but I think of what that juxtaposes, the microcosm, is Hanna's dealing with it on the job, and he's dealing with it in both in his personal life. So it's the amount of stress, anxiety. You know what I mean? So I actually think, even though it's not people's favorite element, I actually think Mann nailed that. What Gaz was saying about the camera angles, so those first-person shots, you have, we'll get to the big shootout, you have when Hanna takes out Sharito, Sizemore, basically has it right down his rifle, right down his eye sign, and that kind of headshot. So those kind of, I guess if you play first-person shooters, those kind of first-person shots, And then what Gaz was saying about this one being more of a pulled out, a social interaction of them in the coffee shop. That's called a telephoto lens, and that's because Mann was shooting in widescreen. I also like that third act when Hanna is taking the phone calls from all the different dudes, and it kind of gives you him on the phone, but it kind of has the whole office behind him. It's kind of like the whole operation. I really like the way Mann shot that. It's not a major detail, guys, but just some Michael Mann camera angles. I haven't seen anything creative since. Yeah,
but it helps add further authenticity in that regard because it shows you what's going on in the background. The whole environment there. So no, I'm totally with that. Noticed it. Like we mentioned Wes Studi earlier, his character, I think he's in one of those scenes where I think he's actually on the phone talking to someone, chatting. Like I said, there'd so many things you can miss with this film being long.
Sure.
There's nice little subtleties like that. Even someone minor, Ross, as we were saying earlier, might only be in for 1 minute or so, but there's no real bad performances at all.
The helicopter sequences, guys, the chopper angles, it reminded me of what Cameron did in that final T2 sequence when the chopper, it's like, I wouldn't say it's exact, but it's like similar. LA, kind of LA urban downtown shots. We had Pixie. Would Gassy like Dog Day Afternoon? I think he would, because Dog Day Afternoon's a way different twist on heisting and this stuff. I think you would like it, guys, because the amount of emotion that Pacino puts into that Dog Day Afternoon character, it's way different than any other kind of heisting movie. I think guys would like that one.
Pixie, if action happens, there's some action scenes. I'm easy to please. If it's just literally 3 hours of guys talking in a room,
dialogue,
I'll be bored. Like, for me, it's like, I can't remember now because we're live, but there was an indie sci-fi film, Pixie, where it really was just two people chatting, and it was somebody was held captive by a hostile alien race. And the guy was talking to what he thought, Ross, was another human being, another prisoner. And right at the end, it was all how we're going to fight back, take down the alien occupiers, etc. Loads of espionage. You'd have probably liked it, Ross. And it got right to the end of the movie, and then it flipped. The other cellmate got up, the door opened, the aliens come into them, and it's like where you go and turns around on one of them being surgically altered, and you've just given us everything on the resistance, how are you going to do this? And now we've just sent our ships, boom, you're taken out and done. That's it, you're finished. It wasn't a good ending at all. We got completely obliterated. So if it's done like that and there's some dramatic twist or something like that then can happen, I can do it because it's going somewhere. But if I haven't got anything to sort of entertain me or it doesn't really go anywhere, then that's where I can be a bit sleepy. So
I can understand it. Who the hell brought up Gladiator 2, Jay? You're lucky I don't ban you for this. If you ever mentioned that film on my channel,
Space Monkeys, best
embarrassing
movie.
Embarrassing. I think it depends. So we were talking about this with No Country with Old Men. I think it depends where you're at. Like it seemed like in Adamson kind of cop in Chicago. I'm from Boston. Highest robbery per capita. LA. You've seen it's said that like the Army of Two thing. Me and Gaz were talking about. All my LA heads will know about this. I'm sure you guys saw about it overseas, Gaz. It was a massive headline. Those two armored dudes that came out with the armored suits in LA, and they got in that very long shootout. A lot of people were saying those guys watched Heat and it influenced them. So as me and Gaz were saying, although that first heist wasn't real and that last heist wasn't real, it, as Gaz alluded to in the beginning of this review, unfortunately influenced real events. And we're not saying that you should, go Dallas masking, but it did happen because we live in reality,
I'd have to Google this, but perhaps somebody can remember. There was something else that happened many, many years ago, way back in the day, Ross, and I just remember it being on TV as a kid. And it was after the Heat movie where they did have a shootout, and they actually referenced Heat. The way the reporter said it was something like out of the Hollywood movie Heat, and totally forgotten about that until brought up the Armored 2.
Yeah, it did happen. It did happen, guys. Sorry about that. So let's get back in the face-off. Okay, Wayne Grove makes a deal with Van Zant to eliminate McCally's crew. Trejo quits, claiming LAPD is too close. McCally hires old colleague Don Breeden as the getaway driver, and they execute the heist. I really did like that how he quit at the diner. That was sick, guys. That was cool when he's like, I need a driver today. He's like, you remember the drill, and that was cool. Unfortunate what happened to the character, but it was cool that he was down. Yeah, I think Pixie remembers that one. That was a crazy crime. So keep rolling, guys. Tipped by Van Zant associates Hugh Benny. The LAPD intercepts the crew after leaving the bank. So here we go, guys. This is it. Act 3, the big one. Sparking a shootout. Shirless kills Bosco, while Brendan and Sharito, along with many police, are killed. Breeden and Sharito, McCally, we were talking about, the Hanna shot on Sharito. McCally and Shirless escape, but Shirless is wounded by Casals. McCally takes Shirless to a doctor and leaves him with Nate. That's obviously Jeremy Piven, as I said. Suspecting Trejo tipped off the police, McCally finds him mortally wounded and his dead wife, both at Wayne Grove's hands. Again, he's like killing every non-white in the movie because this guy's a psycho. Trejo reveals Wayne Grove and Van Zant forced him to disclose the bank plan. McCally kills him to end his suffering. I mean, I thought that was such a great, almost on Manhunter level, like horror and gore. Gilbert Trejo sitting there on the ground with his wig split as like McCally's like interrogating him. I'm just like, me and Wall Street were talking about that. I'm like, what a grimy conversation. That's where the noir came in, because I'm like, this is like borderlining horror gore, which is how the grindhouse element, the violence. Too much security today, cameras. I mean, I wouldn't say it's impossible, Jay. I mean, it's definitely harder, but I mean, there was the helicopter heist not that long ago. There was the Louvre heist very recently. So it's not impossible. I mean, it's you got to know your location. It depends on the crew. I mean, it's harder. But I wouldn't
advising or suggesting or as a consultant for that as well.
No. I'm just talking about film creatively. If you're going to make a movie about it, if you're going to make a movie about it, it wouldn't be impossible to do. That's all I'm saying here. Hey, Michael Mann used a bunch of real stories from Adamson in Chicago, so that's all we're saying here. We're just talking heists, One payday mask for don't leave your DNA at the heist scene. Not saying you should do that. So the big shootout, Gazzy was saying, apex of the movie, third act, probably the craziest part of the movie. Very realistic, real firearms, firing blanks, real military and firearm consultants.
This is a war movie part, man. Yeah.
It really is. That was. Yeah, it showed Breeden's girlfriend. That was grimy.
Well, thanks, Slip. Like when you're live hearing things just appear into your head, that's what's great. Have people.
The Outer Limits was sick. I love Robert Patrick. The Outer Limits was sick. I watched Outer Limits. I may have seen that back in the day. I love Outer Limits.
I thought it was an indie movie. I thought it was an indie movie, man. But absolutely fire.
I thought Outer Limits was better than the Twilight Zone, because Outer Limits was more like my generation. Not Twilight Zone's sick. There's some crazy stuff in it, but Outer Limits was like more my generation. I used to like watching that. A lot of famous. I think I want to say a lot of famous people appeared in that back in the day. Obviously, Robert Patrick, T1000 legend. Man, so I mean, we broke it down. I mean, dude, the way they come in, guys, dressed up in their suits, like Sizemore's duster jacket with the suit and the gloves. I mean, like Dallas and every guy from Payday looked like that. So as guys said, the suits in Heat, the suits in Point Break, wearing the masks. That sequence is that's one of the craziest heists. I think that and the first heist are the two most high octane, explosive ones. Aggressiveness, De Niro on McCally taking control. Trying to get the money. Obviously, Kilmer, Shirless hitting the vault, grabbing the bags. Okay, guys, that camera angle of Shirless throwing the bills in the duffel and then sliding it, the way Mann had that angle of the bag slide like another first person, like, dude, just especially in this scene, the camera angles from McCally and Hanna, and just like the massive shootout, lighting up the cruisers. This shootout, man. Like I said, if you don't like crime, if you don't like heisting, and you end up watching this scene, you're going to say that it's the most extreme grindhouse. The ultra violence approaches a grindhouse level, but beyond that, McCally saving Shirless, firing back the McCally and Hanna shooting at each other. That's where it all manifests from the conversation that they had. Like, hey, it's a bit like how, me and Gaz talked about the Revolutionary War, how the officers would meet and discuss strategy. Like, you're going to be on this position, we're going to be on this position. That medieval warfare, that it all kind of manifests into that. Hey, when I see you on the battlefield, it's going to go how it's going to go, even though we're having this conversation outside of the crime, So
further in the Napoleonic times as well, like that gentlemanly warfare, as you said, they would meet almost as if, right, we'll have a meal, whatever, discuss. Now, we'll see you tomorrow at 12:45, where we'll stand in the line and shoot each other. But
that's what it reminded me of.
Horse on the top of the hill, whilst all the poor folks down there do the
peasants on the front line. That's what it reminded me of, because it's a bit like No Man's Land in World War I. Like, they had that intermission. You're going to be on that side, I'm going to be on this side, and when I see you on the battlefield, it's going to go how it's going to go. That's what they told each other. So it really manifested. I like how McCally saved Shirless. He didn't have to, right? He could have split. But and then obviously McCally going through this is where it got nuts. McCally going through that shopping center, and then they're just lighting up in broad daylight, and Hanna's pushing the pedestrians out of the way and shooting back at him, and then McCally gets in that wagon, and he gets Shirless out of there. So crazy. Dude,
it's so insane, because also, Ross, there's another subtlety. When Val takes out one of Hanna's crew, Hanna's crew. Sorry, one of Hanna's officers.
Yeah,
you see that dynamic, because you've got the Heisters, then Hanna and his colleagues there. So again, it's like that two opposites,
crew versus crew
of the same coin kind of thing. So you see one of his friends be taken out, then that's just when McCally then saves Shirless. And then that sets up what you're talking about.
Yeah, dude. I mean, just we could break it down all day for you guys. Like, you just have to really watch it to see the impact on what you see for yourself.
Dude, even the way I said this before we were on here earlier today, the way just Val is holding his rifle, and dude, if you took away the urban setting, took away the suits, and you put that in the jungle, we could have been watching a NAM movie, and any kind of war movie, because the whole thing just feels like a war movie. They don't feel like heisters to me, Ross. I know I said that earlier, but they don't.
Yeah, the way this is a very paramilitary. As Gaz said before, it's a very paramilitary style. I mean, even I would flip it the other way on you, Gaz, and I would say urban warfare, because in Afghanistan and Iraq, you didn't have the jungle. You had concrete cities. And then, I think Michael Mann's take on modern warfare would maybe be more extreme. I guess it was cigarettes. Feel so bad about that. He's a fantastic. Loved him in Top Secret. Funny, cool Top Gun. He was amazing.
I
don't know. I don't know if it was cigarettes. I mean, I think he smoked in his roles, but I don't know if he did smoke in his personal life. Rest in peace to Val Kilmer. I think he's the GOAT. Obviously they shot Top Gun 1 out here where I live and Top Gun 2 out here where I live. So I'm waiting to see what they do with Top Gun 3. Timmy, is this your where did that go? What is this? This is Real Genius, Jimmy, is your third favorite? Where do you guys rank Heat? It'd probably be top 20 for me. So let's get back into what happens to the boys. Obviously, where am I? The big shootout. I did the. Wait. Okay. Yeah, Shirless kills Bosco. That's what Gaz was talking about, but he's wounded. So later on, McCally takes Shirless to the doctor, leaves with Nate, suspecting. So it was the Trejo thing. Yes, they were talking together, and then Trejo reveals Wayne Grown and Van Zant forced him to disclose the bank. McCally kills him in his suffering. So McCally kills Van Zant in his mansion. Okay, if I was gonna say there's one unrealistic moment. Van Zant knows that he double-crossed McCally's crew at the handoff, and it's been a week since then, and he's still sitting in his mansion with giant glass windows like an idiot watching TV by himself with no security, and he's supposedly this, he's got, what's his name, Henry Rollins, but obviously Hanna and those guys pulled up on Henry Rollins and beat the bag out of him at the other location. So Van Zant has no security, no weapons, and he's chilling on the couch unarmed, knowing that he just screwed over McCally. And so if there's one moment I would dock for realism, it's like, dude, come on. Even if you're a head funds manager, you're going to buy a pistol and keep it at the house and keep it on the couch with you. Like, you're sitting there with your back torch to the window. Like, I love Fitchner. I love the character, but I'm like, dude, McCally has been offing people this whole movie, and you think if he finds out, he's not going to pull up on you at the house? And if you're rich enough to have multiple locations, you're not going to go to your Hollywood Hills mansion where you're going to get pulled up on solo. You're going to go to your downtown penthouse where you're surrounded by security like Boondock Saints 2. So if I had to do one, it's that, but I'll let it slide because it's Michael Mann and I'm a fanboy. But I don't know where you're at on that, guys.
No, I'm with you. He does have an amusing line though.
Oh, the kill is hilarious. Yeah. Where's Wayne Grow? I don't know. He was going to interrogate him. It was insane, But yeah, that's what me and Gaz were wondering. Is it mercenaries, paramilitary? Yeah, I don't know if they or just being heisters. Because you're going to have to know it to be a heister. So that's what we were saying. It's 50-50 on that. I feel like, Sizemore, Shirless, they were more like the paramilitary guys than McCally was, because McCally's more of like the figure it out and team leader, Here's Timmy. He's right up with me. Blade Runner, Alien. I love Alien. Love Blade Runner. Blade Runner's number 2 for me. Haven't heard of these. Haven't heard of those ones. Okay, he was a heavy smoker. God damn it, Val. God damn it, Val! Rest in peace to Val. Shouldn't be doing that, but he's like one of the best actors ever. So if he wants to like smoke a few butts, like I'm an idiot on the internet. Who am I to tell him how to spend his free time? You know what I mean? Obviously, out-acting the shit out of me. Late 90s sci-fi military season. Necro and everybody always talks about Falling Skies, guys. It's supposedly in Boston where it's a resistance fighting back on. I don't know how.
It's not bad. It's got Noah Wyle, who is Dr. Carter in the ER series. So it's not bad. There's some good elements to it. The effects are a bit off in some parts. It's similar to is there another one where it's very similar? Colony with the guy who was in Lost, which Colony's not too bad actually. They sadly kind of left that open-ended.
Fizzled. Kind of fizzled.
Yeah,
I like
that was pretty good.
I like V with the reptilians inside the people.
V's sick.
That's the best I can do. So he kills Van Zant. While Hanna's team detains Benny, learning about McCally's link to Waingro, who is hiding in a hotel. Hanna uses Waingro as bait to lure McCally. As McCally plans to flee, Edie finds his criminal identity but agrees to go with him. Shirless, after being forced by LAPD to bring him in, tries to reconcile with his wife Charlene at her safe house, but she warns him with a gesture and he escapes. Everybody loves the Shirless scene. Having separated from Justine, Hanna finds Lauren in his hotel room unconscious after attempting suicide, rushes her to the hospital, saves her life. Hanna reconciles with Justine, although the two agree that their marriage will never work. McCally drives with Edie to the LA International to flee to New Zealand via private jet. However, when Nate gives him Wayne Grove's location, I do love that scene when McCally they're like driving to and he takes the call from him and he's like, he just makes that face and like he's contemplating it, but you know what he's going to pick. Like, hey, I got to make a stop real quick. I wonder where McCally's going. He obviously has been trying to kill Wayne Grove all movies, so he's going to go off him. Yeah. So it's just like, that was pretty nuts. You take the reins for a second, guys. You got to fix my lighting.
Okay, no worries. Well, sorry there, folks. We had a shot again. That's just.
We'll blur it out. We'll blur it out with that. We'll fix that in post. I'll regain. McCally abandons his usual caution to seek revenge. Posing as the hotel security, triggering a fire alarm, McCally infiltrates the hotel and kills Wayne Grove in his room. So, that's a grimy scene. Obviously, has the mag light, you know what I mean? And then his way out of there. Mystic River was Boston. I'll get to it in a second. On the way out of there, when the security guy's like, "Hey, dude, come on out," and McCally just beats the bag out of him with the mag light. Obviously after he lit up Wayne Grove. So some cool stuff there. Hanna outside, kind of tracking him. I I think Mystic River is probably my least favorite of the Boston films, Pixie, just because, like Gaz says, well acted, well directed, but that movie is just way too slow. Like, the whole thing of that movie is just like one of the slowest paced movies. Like, has a lot of great performances, but it's not my favorite like Boston movie. Like, I like Boondock Saints. I like The Departed. There's a lot. I think there's better ones than that. Sean Penn's pretty epic. Yeah, it did. So
not that I'm looking all the time.
you are looking all the time. You're tracking it. Gaz has his background on his desktop. It's just that blow up from last time. Okay, so when McCally comes back down and he's about to get back in the car with Edie, spotted by Hanna and flees. Hanna chases McCally onto the tarmac, and the two stalk each other before Hanna gets the drop on McCally, shoots him in the chest. Hanna takes McCally's hand as he dies of his wounds. Okay, so I'm going to talk score because of the music in that scene. I mean, I'm sure you'll have some breakdown of this, guys. The final tarmac.
I just wanted to back it up a bit, just as that scene's setting up.
I just backed it up a bit.
Oh, right, sorry, yeah.
I backed it up too much. Go ahead, you.
I was gonna. Yeah, I'm mentally backed up. That's for sure. Hannah's observation. You know, where everything's going on. You've got all the emergency services outside the hotel at that point, and the way he sees Macaulay's girl in the car they're waiting, and of course this sets up the whole sequence. Yep. It was just nice to see how Hannah's mind was working in that moment through all the chaos, and he has that observation. I think that's
stayed focused.
Yeah, I thought that was subtle because that's often overlooked, because we often hear about in these cases here, and I know I'm going to be preaching to the choir here, to yourself and your audience here, Ross, but it's often somebody spots a minute detail, and that's how they either catch the perpetrator, for example.
Breaks the case.
Yeah. This I thought was a really nice way to set up what is, one, it's an epic chase, epic action scene, and then the dialogue that they have again, it kind of takes us back to that moment in when we were
full circle
earlier.
100%. No, you nailed it. You nailed it, bro. You nailed it. So, best three scenes of the movie. I mean, I like that intro a lot, but the face-off at the coffee shop, the final shootout, and then this. McCally versus Hanna. This is what all culminates, manifests, final apex, as Gaz said, the climax. Of course, Hanna grabs the 12 gauge from that dude on the way out to the chase. Brings the pistol with him. I don't know if it's the cinematographer, like you said, Slip, but either that or the director of photography. Man, the lighting on this tarmac, hiding behind those weird little plane huts. I don't know anything about LAX or how they shot down there. I only know it from this movie, the shadows. When the plane comes in, Hanna catches McCally's shadow. That's obviously how he gets the drop on him. So lights him quick. Again, that comes to Hanna's Marine background. Instant reaction time, no hesitation. Pops off on him. The dying scene, crazy. Dude, we were talking about this in Goodfellas, actually, with our boy Brett. Shout out NYC Crime Spot. Go follow him. I agree. I totally agree with this, Timmy. Tim knows his. Tim's a heister. He knows his stuff. We're gonna talk music. Here's my Crow reference. So I did a little digging, guys, because we were talking Dead Souls and we were talking about Nin on the Crow soundtrack. Me being a Crow fanboy, I should have known this, and a Nin fanboy, I should have known this, but I didn't. Dead Souls on the Crow soundtrack is a cover of Joy Division, like an 80s band.
That source material we just reviewed.
The kind of stuff that James O'Barr listens to is like Joy Division, ready to crap your pants, and I looked like I just did about 5 minutes ago. This song, that song that song that's playing when they go in the airport, that is Joy Division. Right, this is crazy. Only another cover of Joy Division. It's Moby. It's a Moby Joy Division cover. That's why I'm like, isn't that crazy? So a Nin Joy Division cover in The Crow, and then a Moby Joy Division cover in Heat. Ridiculous. That Heat theme song is sick. So when I read that, I was like, holy crap! We just did The Crow, and now here's another freaking Joy Division. So insane. That is basically all of my notes, lads. So we could go back to Wiki. Do you think Hanna would have chased Neil to New Zealand or just keep him looking for him? Sounds like Hanna was very dedicated, would have kept looking for Neil. I'll let you take it, Gaz, and I'll do mine.
I think he would have. However, I'm a bit on the fence to which way it could have gone. I think he would have pursued him, and could they have had another sit down and then agree, right, you've left crime.
As long as you don't operate in my territory.
When you don't operate in my territory, I'll leave you be, kind of thing. Yeah. I could see that happening. Or I could see it the other way. No way, he just pursue him and he just wants to take him back or take him out no matter what. So
second one, he just doesn't. He's a LA hotshot, as of what you said, the latter of what you said. He's a LA hotshot, and then the sit down, he told him, "If you walk away, I'm not on you. If you walk away, the heat's not on you." And him retiring or operating out in New Zealand, that doesn't affect Hanna. You know what I mean?
So let me put this to Jay then. If we'd have got that, the second version, so Hanna pursues him to New Zealand, and they have a sit down, you get an awesome shot, say, of the ocean and everything there. And then they have that, best of luck, you have a long, peaceful life. Hope I never hear from you again, and I'll go back to LA, kind of thing. Would that have been another kind of epic round off, Jay, on it? Get you that other moment, and then just both characters in a way get their redemption in that act, because
100%.
Maybe Hanna could have gone back to his girl and retired, say, I'm going to leave this life behind.
Exactly.
Because remember, she says to him in the movie, you spend more time at work than you do with me.
Basically it's basically the job or for me. Basically the job or me. I think 100% that he would have let him go to New Zealand. It's the last scene in Point Break, right? It's Bodie on the beach, like Gaz was saying. Johnny Utah, I missed you by a week in Fiji, as in, Utah's on Bodie because he pretty much kept going. It's the same type of thing. I don't think Hanna cares. He basically told him to get out of town. As long as listen, I'm the hot shot robbery murder detail in LA. If you're not in LA, I'm really not on you like that. So you know what I mean. That's the way I look at it. Of course,
I think I would have liked that kind of ending as well. Not nitpicking on here, but I think that would have been pretty sick if we'd have got that.
Yeah, I mean, I like what Mann went with in this script, because he went with the Scarface ending, which is like crime doesn't pay. You take all these scores, of course, mutual respect. Hanna held his hand when he died, because they're the only two that can relate to each other. You can only understand that if you're on the other opposite side of the coin, like Gaz said. So I like the bad guy dies because it's like the Scarface ending, right? So I'm a fanboy for 80s.
McCally says as well. As Hanna holds his hand, he says, "I told you I wasn't going back." That he wasn't even going back to prison.
Yep. I told you I'm never going back. He's like, "I'm going to put you in there. I told you I'm never going back." So I love the ending. I like what you guys said with alternate endings. I mean, who knows what? Shirless got away, right? So there's still the Shirless ending. Shirless's son, like Jay said, and his wife. They're still anti law enforcement. So I think there's still. You have to see what Mann played around with in that sequel, prequel, reboot. If he jumps around in the timeline, does Shirless get that kind of? Does Shirless get something like that New Zealand ending? Because he's still not down and out. So pretty sick. Love the music. Love the lighting. We could go to. If you have any other final thoughts, Gazzy, or I'll rip through Wiki real quick, and then we can get to our ratings.
No. Let's rip through, man. Yep.
Factual basis. Go crazy in the chat, guys, and then we're going to. For sure. You nailed it, Jay. One Dallas Mass for you. We're going to go to factual basis. CGI Neil getting away to New Zealand. Prefer that he lives. Yeah, no, I mean, listen, man, I'm a massive Tony Montana, Al Pacino fanboy. I would have loved if Tony Montana got away, but it's just not the way the Scarface story arc plays out, right? It just was never going to happen. So,
if we maybe get something like that in Heat 2, though, as you
for sure,
where we get it before and after, that would be cool. Myself and Ross will definitely check out the source material for Heat 2, see if we can read the novel 100%. For you, maybe do a show on that as well. That would
maybe break. But if we get a trailer for Heat 2, and you guys want us to either react to that or break down the source material, leave us ideas in the chat or the comments. Factual basis. Heat is based on the true story of Neil McCally, a calculating criminal and ex-Alcatraz inmate. I forgot to mention that, Gazzy. He was in Alcatraz. Who was tracked down, hard dude, by Detective Chuck Adamson in 1964. So, I mean, the source material goes way back before 1995, as me and guys were saying. 1961, McCally was transferred from Alcatraz to McNeil Island Correction Center, probably no relation, as mentioned in the film. He was released in 1962 and immediately began planning new crimes. Gotta love when a dude's like, Alcatraz made no effect on me. I'm gonna go back to taking scores. Like, you are a hard man, so to speak. Yeah. Mentioned released in 1962, immediately began planning new crimes. Michael Pariel and William Pinkerton used bolt cutters and drills to rob a manufacturing company of diamond drill bits, which is recreated in the film. That's nuts. Pacino's character is largely based on Detective Chuck Adamson, who began keeping tabs on McCally's crew, knowing that he had begun committing crimes again. Adamson and McCally met for coffee once, as portrayed in the film. Their dialogue in the script is based on the conversation that McCally and Adamson had. The next time the two met, guns were drawn, which is also mirrored in the movie. March 25th, 1964, McCally and members of his regular crew followed an armored car that delivered money to National Tea grocery store, Cicero Avenue, Chicago. When the drop was made, 3 of the robbers entered the store. They threatened the clerks, stole the money bags worth $13K, equivalent to $101K in 2024, before getting away after police gunfire. McCally's crew was unaware that Adamson and 8 other detectives had blocked off all potential exits. The getaway car turned down an alley, and the robbers saw the blockade and realized they were trapped. All 4 exited the vehicle and began firing. Russell Breeden and Michael Pariel were slain in the alley, while Mikolos Palesti, on whom Chris Shirless is loosely based, shot his way out and escaped. McCally was shot to death on the lawn of a nearby home. I never knew how he went out, grimy. Sorry, YouTube, if I'm not allowed to read Wikipedia of history, but this is what happened. So grow a pair and deal with it. He was 50 years old and the prime suspect in several burglaries. Palestri was caught days later, sent to prison. I'm sure you're loving this, Pixie. You love the real stuff. Pulaski was still alive in 2011. Adamson went on to a successful career as a TV and film producer. He died in 2008, age 71. Mann's 2009 film Public Enemies is dedicated to Adamson's memory. I've seen Public Enemies. Character of Nate, played by John Voight, is based on criminal-turned-author Edward Bunker, who served as consultant to Mann on the film. Canceled TV series. This is what me and Mac were talking about. LA Takedown. 79, Mann wrote a 180-page draft of Heat. He rewrote it after making Thief in 81, hoping to find a director to make it, and mentioning it publicly on promotional interview in his 83 film, The Keep. In the late 80s, he offered the film to his friend, director Walter Hill, who turned him down following the success of Miami Vice and Crime Story. Mann was to produce a new crime television story for NBC. He turned down the script that would become Heat into a 90-minute pilot for TV, featuring the Los Angeles Police Department Robbery Homicide Division, featuring Scott Plank in the role of Hanna and Alex MacArthur playing the character of McCally, renamed to Patrick McLaren. The pilot was shot in 19 days, atypical for Mann. The script was shortened to almost a third of its original length, omitting many subplots that made it into Heat. The network was unhappy with Plank as the lead actor and asked Mann to recast Hanna's role. Mann declined and the show was canceled, and the pilot aired on August 27th, 89, titled LA Takedown, which was eventually released on VHS and DVD in Europe. Pre-production. April 5th, 94, Mann was reported to have abandoned his earlier plan to shoot a biopic of James Dean in favor of directing Heat. Wow, talk about opposite projects there, guys. Like, hey, I'm thinking about doing a James Dean biopic. Why don't you just do Heat, which is like a massive 3-hour grindhouse epic. Yeah. Producing it with Art Limson. The film marks the first on-screen appearance of Pacino and De Niro. Both actors had starred in The Godfather Part 2, but owing to the film's story structure, they are not seen in the same scene. Pacino and De Niro were Mann's first choices for Hanna and McCally, respectively, and they both immediately agreed to act. I don't know if they, what point they found out about each other, or if they both just knew it was so epic, we're doing it. I'd like to hear more about the pre-production. Yeah,
pre-production, when you get to the notes and the link-ins, like we mentioned Wes Studi being in The Last of the Mohicans, a link to that. When you get to the part that we can share with everybody about the shootout scene, who they worked with to do that, dude, it is insane. Yeah, dude, I told you his organization in terms of how he puts Michael Mann puts it, hires the best of the best, arguably maybe the best I've ever seen. Last of Mohicans, a PXF classic, might I add.
Gaz is reading along with me. Man assigned Janice Poley, former collaborator on the film's location manager. Shout out to her. I was complimenting that abandoned drive-in, along with Lori Bolton, who primarily handled scouting duties. I mean, both of them legends. Scouting locations lasted from August to December '94. Mann requested locations that had not appeared on film before. There's Mann, which Bolton was successful. Fewer than 10 of the 85 filming locations were previously used. I mean, I imagine that's a tough task in LA, Gaz, which just has productions running 24/7. How do you not reuse locations that have been in every other movie? Where am I? The most challenging shooting location proved to be Los Angeles Internet. I was asking you about this, guys. How do you just shut down LAX? Hey, I need to shoot this film where two guys blow each other away on the tarmac. Is that going to impact flights?
Real quick, jumping in, do you think one shot's probably closest in terms of kind of Michael Mann?
Oh, geez, great call. I hadn't even considered that. That second one was like an airport. Yeah, I like what you did there. Yeah, everybody go check out, what was that second one called?
One More Shot.
One More Shot, I think. Yeah, go check that out, guys. We reviewed that. It was very dope. Very, very nice point by Gaz. I don't know. Maybe they didn't. That was like Europe, though, wasn't it? Because I think it's probably easier to shoot a small airport than it is LAX, being like
if you go into
the second biggest airport in the state. It's not like shooting like Tennessee or something, just shut down for the day. Hey, De Niro, Pacino need to shoot each other down there. There's no flights coming in. Like we were saying, L.A., which the film crew nearly missed the shot due to a threat to the airport by the Unabomber. There's your real crime, Pixie. Another Zodiac suspect, the Unabomber. To make the long shootout more realistic, they hired British ex-special SAS agent Sergeant Andy McNabb as a technical weapons trainer and advisor. He designed a weapons training curriculum to train the actors for 3 months using live ammunition before shooting with blanks for the actual take, and worked with training for the bank robbery. The training worked so well, the U.S. Army used parts of the film to train new soldiers. I was asking guys about the SAS veteran on set. I mean, ridiculous, so ridiculous. You know what? I didn't see this on Wikipedia, but I feel like since Mann wanted them and they both immediately accepted, they probably didn't look around too much, to be real with you.
However, though, Jay, there are some other interesting considerations, especially one which I'm going to let Ross read out with him being such
I can't wait. Oh my God, I think I know what you're referring to at the end here. Okay, De Niro was first cast member.
How the hell would that worked if that had happened? You can imagine living on the bread.
Yeah, not that. I was thinking more like Keanu, like, hey, bro, when the heat comes around the corner in 30 seconds, I'm going to walk out of everything in my life and find Bodie again, bro. You couldn't have him in both. I mean, he's too cool in Johnny Utah. You couldn't have him in both films. Do you prefer post? All right, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to finish Heat today. I'm not going to be Ross. I'm going to finish the task. De Niro was first cast to receive the film script, showing it to Pacino, who also wanted to be in the film. De Niro believed that Heat was a very good story, had a particular feel to it, a reality, and an authenticity. In 2016, Pacino revealed that he viewed his character as having been under the influence of cocaine throughout the film. I've seen Pacino speak on it, and he said that it didn't make it into the final cut, but Hanna is like this recovering cocaine addict, so he had an extreme cocaine problem, and that's why he's so maybe meticulous.
Which they could have said through all the stress and anxiety from doing that kind of job.
Relapse. He could have relapsed as well. Awesome, so there's a lot of minutia. Mann took Kilmer, Sizemore, De Niro to Folsom State Prison to interview actual career criminals to prepare for their roles. While researching her role, Judd met several former prostitutes who became housewives. Keanu Reeves was offered Chris Shirless, but he turned it down in favor of playing Hamlet at the Manitoba Theater. Keanu, what are you doing? But then, of course, we wouldn't have got Val Kilmer. So, I mean, I can't really question Keanu. He's John Wick, the GOAT. So
you're about to come to your favorite possible.
Let's figure out what the hell is going on with Gaz here. Gaz is our music guy. As a result, Val Kilmer was given the role. John Bon Jovi also auditioned for Shirless. You know what though? Kilmer and Bon Jovi, they look very similar. But he's no Chris Shirless. He's more of a rock star guy. Like, I don't know what the hell. Vote in the chat if you wanted John Bon Jovi instead of Kilmer for Shirtless. I don't expect to see many of those. Moving on. Filming. Principal photography for Heat lasted 107 days during the summer of 95. All the shooting was done on location in and around LA due to Mann's decision to not use a soundstage. Among the key filming were the Citigroup Center, where the bank heist and police shootout takes place, the Kate Mantellini restaurant, which served as location of the meeting over coffee. I wonder if that's still there. I'm going to look that up, Gazzy, because it's my mission to go to every single one of these places and get coffee with Wall Street and reenact like 90 minutes of dialogue while people in there look at me weird. This YouTube fanboy is out of control. Please get this guy out of the restaurant. The film cinematographer Dante Spinotti used a combination of natural and practical lighting to capture the grittiness and realism for the film. The film's visual style also captures the vastness of LA and the isolation of his characters within the urban sprawl. Mann and Spinotti often use wide shots and long takes to create a sense of scale and immersion. Both Al Pacino and De Niro prepared extensively for their roles. They spent time with real detectives and criminals to understand their characters in depth. The dinner scene with Pacino and De Niro was shot with minimal rehearsals to maintain the spontaneity and intensity. Mann used multiple camera angles to capture the scene from different angles, focusing on close-ups to highlight the tension and subtleties of each actor's performance. This is what Gaz was referring to in his breakdown. Let's do some soundtrack. On December 95, Warner Bros. Records released a soundtrack on cassette and CD to accompany the film Heat, music from the motion picture, produced by Matthias Gall. It contains 29-minute selection of the film score composed by Elliot Goldenthal, as well as songs by other artists such as U2, Brian Eno, and The Passengers, and a bunch of other people I haven't heard of, Moby. Heat uses Heat uses a bridged instrumental rendition of the Joy Division song New Dawn Fades by Moby, which is also featured in the scene to form the soundtrack. Mann reused on the track Armenia in his 99 The Insider. Insider is sick as well. I don't know if you've seen that, guys. The film ends with Moby's God moving over the face of the waters, a different version which is included in the end of the soundtrack to the album. Mann and Goldenthal decided on an atmospheric situation for the film soundtrack. Goldenthal uses a setup consisting of multiple guitars, which he termed guitar orchestra, and thought that it brought the film score closer to a European style. I'd say he nailed it. Box office. Heat released December 15th. We're on the, what's today? A couple days early, Gazzy. 95 opened at the box office with 8.4 mil. 1,325 theaters, finishing in third behind Jumanji and Toy Story. Kind of makes me wonder how Jumanji beat Heat, but I guess, there weren't like a bunch of 14-year-olds going to Heat. Like, what happens in this film, mommy? It went on to earn 67.4 mil in the States, 120 mil foreign box. Heat was ranked number 25th highest grossing of all time. We'll skip home media. If you guys want to buy VHSs and DVDs, that's on you. Reception, we'll just do Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times gave the film 3.5 stars out of 4. He described Mann's script as uncommonly literate, with a psychological insight into the symbiotic relationship between police and criminals and the fractured intimacy between the male and female characters. It's not just an action picture. Above all, the dialogue is complex enough to allow the characters to say what they're thinking. They are eloquent, insightful, fantasyful, poetic when necessary. They're not trapped with cliches. Of the many imprisonments possible in our world, one of the worst must be inarticulate, to be unable to tell another person what you really feel. We can skip that. We can do a little bit of impact. French gangster Redon Fade told Mann at a film festival, "You were my technical advisor." He's like a famous French heister. One payday mask, Dallas mask for him. The media described later robberies resembling scenes from Heat, including armored car robberies in South Africa, Colombia, Denmark, and Norway, and the 1997 North Hollywood shootout in which Larry Phillips Jr. and Emile Matatarino robbed the North Hollywood branch of the Bank of America. Similar to the film, were confronted by the LAPD as they left the bank. A copy of Heat was found in the VCR at Phillips' residence. So it sounds like Phillips was watching Heat before he went and attempted to Heat in real life, which is carries a bit more risk than watching the VHS at your home, home TV. The shootout is one of the longest and bloodiest events of its type in American police history. Both robbers were killed, and 11 police officers and 7 civilians were injured during the shootout. Wow. Heat was often referred to during the coverage of the shootout, as Gaz was saying. For his 2008 film, The Dark Knight, director Chris Nolan drew inspiration in his portrayal of Gotham City from Heat in order to tell a very large city story of the city. In 2016, a year after the 20th anniversary of Heat, Nolan moderated the Q&A session with Michael Mann and cast and crew at the Samuel Goodwin Theater. Heat was was it you that was saying this, guys? Heat was one of the inspirations behind the highly influential 01 video game Grand Theft Auto 3, as well as the 08 sequel Grand Theft Auto 4, notably the mission 3-Leaf Clover, which was inspired by the cinematic bank robbery and police shootout. 13 sequel Grand Theft Auto 5, notably mission Blitz Play, in which the crew blocks and then knocks over an armored car in order to rob it. Director Mia Hansen-Love said she's obsessed with Heat and said the themes of Heat actually are the themes of my films, except in a very different way, in a very different world. Subsequent works. Let me get a sip. Any reaction to those, Gazi?
No, I just think that's super, super interesting, and we thought we knew a lot, and it just shows you just how deep, more. This has gone. There's so much. Yep.
March 16, Mann announced that he was developing a Heat prequel novel as part of launching his company, Michael Mann Books. In April 27, 17, Reed Farrell Coleman joined the project as co-author. May 15th, 20, Mann stated that the novel would function as both a prequel and a sequel. This is what I was trying to explain to Gaz, but we'll let Mann do it because it's more articulate, with plot taking place before and after the film's main events. By January 1922, it was revealed that the novel would be a collaboration between Mann and Meg Gardiner. It was subsequently released August 22. The title's Heat 2, so me and Gazi will be reading that. September 19, Michael Mann stated that he intends to produce an adaptation of the novel, acknowledging film and television as possible mediums for release. By July 5th, 22, Mann reaffirmed his plans to adapt the novel to follow up into a feature film, while stating that the principal cast from the first installment may be recast for the adaptation. April 2023, it was reported that the sequel was in development with Adam Driver in talks to play a young McCally. And in December 25, Leonardo DiCaprio confirmed his casting in the film. And last we heard were names like Christian Bale, Austin Butler. That's everything on Wiki, guys. Let me catch up with the chat. Gazi.
Excuse me there, folks. Sorry. That's made me feel very enthusiastic and excited for the sequel, that we're going to get that before and after. Like I think that, like I was saying earlier, I'm not 100%.
300.
The 300 sequel, The
Rise of Empire.
So that's pretty good because we'll see them before and then we'll catch up with what's after. And who knows? Maybe we will get that kind of moment. So I'm going to say that kind of Point Break kind and chat sequence.
Bodie and Utah. Yeah. So Drive 2011 always reminds me of a Mad movie. I haven't seen Drive, but I want to. I heard it's good.
I've only seen it once, not for a long time. But folks, it's got the release date down for Heat 2. They're possibly saying late 27 or 28. So I
got time.
We will get the novel reviewed for you, though. We'll get the source material.
Yep.
For you folks before that.
Who knows? Maybe Bon Jovi would have been bigger. He was huge in the 90s. Yeah, I could see it. It's like without the iconic Val. Like I think that the dynamic that made it for me, Sizemore aside, was like De Niro, Pacino, and Val. You know what I mean? Like I've never seen anything like that 3-man dynamic. Some people like Bon Jovi, some people don't.
Tim, yes.
Tommy Lee Jones is sick. I mean, me and Gaz did Tommy Lee in No Country.
What we were talking about, folks, Tommy Lee Jones, The Hunted with Benicio del Toro, that is on our classic list to get on. That is a sick movie if anyone hasn't seen that. Yeah, it's
like a way more grimier, better version of Shooter with Mark Wahlberg. Dude, I like what Jay did with this. Nowadays, you got. I mean, like we were talking about a Boondock game, but I mean, obviously Payday. I don't know if you heard of if you game Jay, you'd probably want to check out Payday 3 because there's a lot of Heat, Point Break, a lot of that influence in Payday. One Dallas mask for the Heat video game, but yeah, I mean that's another. I was talking about that with the Crow guys. Saying that like, hey, if James O'Barr can't get these ideas into an animation, well, nowadays with video game graphics, you take it into a game. But yeah, I mean. Obviously, if you could get De Niro and Pacino's voices in the game, or I guess AI them or something, because I don't know if you can afford those guys on a game budget. Grand Theft Auto is tight. It's no Payday. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
It's just Tim's just got me down again. One of my favorite movies that's coming out next year. I think I said it was Max, but really, Ross, it's mine, and that's Supergirl. And I'm going to go cosplay and sit there going, yay, and screaming all the way through it.
And if you're lucky, that 5-minute Jason Momoa cameo as Lobo might actually be watchable. I don't know about the rest of the film, but Momoa's my man. All right, we're coming up to ratings, guys. We've held you hostage heat style for 2 hours. We're going to go into what's on the IMDb. It's an 8.3. Almost 800,000. Well, it's a pretty easy guess for me. It's a PXF classic. I'm 10 out of 10 because what the hell just happened there? 10 out of 10 because I'm a Heat fanboy. We're talking about the major scenes, that first heist, the coffee shop, the last heist, crazy uber violence, ultra violence, grindhouse, the shootout on the tarmac, Hanna and McCally sick, the music, the cinematography, the Joy Division covered by Moby, the scout locations. Essentially a perfect movie. Pacing moves enough for me. I'm going to need to watch it again because I definitely miss things on this viewing. We want to talk about the novel from Heat 2. We want to talk about Heat 2 when it comes up. Pretty cut and dry for me, guys. I'm a Sicilian actor fanboy. Marlon Brando, De Niro, Pacino. The ensemble cast, De Niro, Pacino, Val Kilmer, Sizemore. The cameos, John Voight being based on Eddie Bunker. The realistic, the uber realism. I'm going to give it 10 out of 10. Dallas Masks.
So,
Yazzie.
Oh, man.
Over to you.
I've got a couple of ratings here. So this is a tough one. So I guess overall I'm 8.5, but it could be a 9. 8.5 or 9. Probably 8.5. I think I'd be at 9 if you just cut some of the I understand why it was done, just some of the family melodrama elements out of it.
To give it stakes, if it's just if it's just guys shooting each other, it's like, okay, you have no family, you have no stakes. There has to be I think probably just real quick, I think the real element that probably nailed it the best was Chris shirtless, because after he got shot, he wanted to go back to his wife, and McCally told him, think about that for a second. If you go back to her, they're going to be on her at the safe. And then obviously she gave him the single, he got away. Go ahead, guys.
I think they could have done that just a little bit shortened down, just shave it down a bit, that's all.
Sure.
However, I'm going to give another rating though. So I've said 8.5 or 9 for the film overall. However, the shootout scene, if there's people out there that don't like the movie, and there will be, and that's fine, the shootout scene, that has to be a 10, an absolute 10. That still holds up now. Closest
the SAS consultant.
Yeah, closest thing to it, I think, is One More Shot, which we reviewed.
Yeah.
And One Shot, that's kind of the closest for the terms of how they're showing the weapons used, the angles. It's got this real World War movie feel to it. You forget it's a heist film. So I say, folks, anyone who doesn't like the movie, fine, but skip to that part. Watch that part because it's like a whole action movie. That is 10 out of 10. That sequence it's just
100% right.
Ross, that is 10 out of 10. Yeah. But the film is good. It's not, for those who aren't crime fans, I view this more as an action movie with those elements. Those on the crime side will view it more as a crime heist movie. To me, it's more action. So that's more my thing because obviously I'm into that. So
100%.
It's got those elements, I feel, for everyone, which makes a definite classic film because it can draw in everybody.
I'd say the interesting question is, what kind of director is Michael Mann? Because he's obviously, he likes heists with Thief and Heat, but he also did The Keep. And he also, Ferrari was his latest movie, so it's it's very, you can't really just say he's an action guy or a crime guy, because he's really multi-genre talented,
So with that said, I'm going to share this, something you brought up, Ross, the other week. We were talking about this during a call one day, and, I mentioned it earlier. So folks, what if, nerd with us, it might be a bit of a generic kind of idea, but I'm not Michael Mann, so, But say, think of this kind of heist film in occupied France in World War II. It could be an Allied unit, kind of like, and I've only ever seen this movie once, Kelly's Hero kind of thing with Clint. Where
I need to see that. I need to see that.
Only I've seen it once, type film. And they've got to get out there, and everyone's on them. You've got the Nazis. There could be
a genius idea.
A private outfit we don't know about that doesn't want these items going into anyone's ground. So you think of Mann's action scenes in that setting, the angles, kind of like what you were saying with the keep. Dude, that I'd be on that all day. That would be so sick.
I think there's the Nazi gold heist. You could have them going over the frontier borders, and they got to keep the score from both the Axis and the Allies, as Gaz was saying, because then it's not just going to one side. I think that would make a lot of sense. So, of course, there's the Nazi gold heist. I need to watch, I think you saw it, Gaz, Blood and Gold on Netflix. I still haven't watched it. There's like a bit of it's a gold heist during World War II. I want to check that out, and then
it's pretty good.
Man, what I think didn't like The Men Who Stare at Goats like deal with that. The only problem is the movie was obnoxious. George Clooney, he tried to do like a thing that was it was so slow and trash. I don't know who directed that. Like, you saw the trailer and you're like, this is going to be awesome. Like Gaz said, like a World War II heist, and then the movie is just unwatchable. But no, it's a great concept that hasn't been explored. I give Gazzy 10 out of 10 Dallas Mass for the idea. I think that's it, guys. All we have on Heat, LA Takedown, De Niro, Pacino, rest in peace, Val Kilmer, rest in peace to Tom Sizemore. Join us next week. We're going to give Gazzy a break. We're going to do Zodiac Files live edition, special guest, Lake Herman Road timeline. It's been a while, so I know you guys are probably itching for me to do the Z. And then as our schedule permits, we're going to try to do Good, Bad, and the Ugly. If we need to bump that show, we'll bump it. You can go subscribe over to Gazzy at Moss Shinobi. Go ahead, brother.
So real quick, do you think Jake Paul's going to be in orbit with 3-Eye Atlas next week?
Yeah, I do. I think he's actually going to be quite past 3-Eye Atlas. He might even be past. What's the farthest star system you can name? Because he's going to be way past Pluto. I think that right now, Anthony Joshua is currently prepping his right-hand rocket ship, and it's going to beam Jake pretty far into outer space. I don't know if he'll be able to be detected by modern day probes, guys. Once he passes Mars and Jupiter. Shout out to PFL this morning. Cyborg W by sub, Nemkov W by sub. I think UFC is on, but it's kind of been low-key butt lately, more than I have been in the past couple shows. BKFC, Gazzy. I think there's a BK going on today, so might have already missed it. So watch BK. Heat. It's classic. We're looking forward to Heat too. We're doing Good, Bad, and the Ugly the 27th if I don't need to travel for a family emergency. Our boy Crip Rick was going to join us, so if we need to bump the show, we'll bump the show. Then we're going to take a little break ski after that. But we all know that Heat is super fire. It's different.
Yeah.
Simpsons episode of Mr. Burns and Abe Simpson steal the priceless German paintings in WW2. Yeah, no, I feel it. Simpsons touched a lot of different things. That's what people don't get about the Simpsons. They had hands all over everything. So that's cool. I rock with it. I'm up for a war. They got to do that big Nazi gold heist. I think is one of the biggest, if not the biggest heist in the world. So. They could definitely get that going. Men Who Stare at Goats, just like Clooney definitely has good understanding of heist films, like the Ocean's trilogy. But then sometimes, like they don't land. You know,
you don't remember that trailer? We were so hyped, and then we actually saw it, and we were just like, "What did we
so boring?" The plot was just so slow. But plenty of room for more heisting films. Name your favorite heist movie. Your top 3 heists in the comments. Your top 5 heists in the comments. Timmy's a heister. He's a Braden guy. He's a Cooper guy. Jay's a Cooper guy. He's a heister. I'm a heister. A la Dallas. I'll give you guys a couple Dallas Mass. Like me and Gaz said, just watch heist movies at home, people. You don't have to take quite literally as some of the other...
Ross isn't auditioning to be a consultant or anything. It's not drawn from prior expertise. Don't worry, folks. We're just experts in talking verbal diarrhea, that's all. Yeah,
me and Danny Trejo. Now, Danny, when I ram the security car with the 18-wheeler, do I put the charge on the door? Yeah, just for educational purposes. I review movies on YouTube, I don't need to go quite that deep into the detail. Yeah, of course, Indiana Jones is fire. I love it. Everything but that last one. The Ocean's trilogy. The Ocean's trilogy. All right, guys, shout out to all my heisters. Go check out Payday 3. They just reskilled the Skills 2.0. Shout out to my heisters, my Cooper guys, and hopefully maybe we can talk some Isabella Gardner Stewart Museum. I'm going to be out in Boston end of April, so I want to swing by the Stewart and get some pictures of those heisted frames. We'll talk about maybe the American Skyjacker, our boy Martin McNally, a Cooper copycat that got some bread. So maybe, who knows, maybe Marty will come on and when I do the Cooper series. So join us next week, Lake Herman Road Timeline, special guest Zodiac Files Live. Then we're going to try to do Good and Bad, the Ugly to end the year for you guys. That's that. Like, sub, share, click the join for a membership. Shout out to you need to go back into the series, bro. I think I interviewed Drew Beeson first, and I think Eric Eulis of History Channel, Discovery, blah, blah, blah. He was second in my Cooper series. So, yes, I know Eric Eulis. I actually gave him a cigar when I was at CooperCon for all his research. I think it was his birthday or something. So, yeah, see, even Gazzy knows, and he's not a Cooperite or a Heister. All right, guys, Heat. 1995, Michael Mann, the GOAT. Let's see what he does with that Heat Part 2. I'm a big DiCaprio, Bale, even get Austin Butler in there and make it fire. Join us next week for Zodiac, and then I will do what I can to get Episode 5 of the main series, the Lake Herman Road Ambush, and the Blue Rock Springs Attack, Episode 6. You can donate to the series if you want to get your name in the credits of the main series. Click the join button for a membership. All members will get 24-hour early access to episode 5 and 6, 7 and 8 of the main series. That's the Isabella Gardner Stewart. Yeah, I should have Eric on and talk that with him too. I've just, now that the schedule is breaking up. Gazzy, Mosh Shinobi, go sub there. Shout out to Pixie for help with the links. You can go pop onto my Patreon. I haven't really done any Most Dangerous Game adaptation reviews lately, but me and Gazzy still got a couple left. We got Deadliest Prey. And some of those, and then I think there's a 2022 remake. So we'll get those going once we talk Most Dangerous Game. And me and Gazzy will hit the notes, and we will revise the schedule for 2026 with a bunch of new PXF classics. And if anything actual watchable comes out that's new, we will attempt to revet that as well. But that.
We're always.
I like Gazzy's idea on this. I like where Gazzy's at.
I was just thinking, John, you've got the action there enough to keep the.
There is one, Gazzy. Is it March of St. Ides? That last Spielberg with the Tuskegee Airmen. I think there was a World War II heist in that, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if you saw it. I'll send you the trailer, and then that one on Netflix, 5. The 5 Dead. I think that one may have had a heist involved as well. Obviously, dead presidents. They were like Vietnam veterans or something. I assume you've seen that. So I like what Gazzy's saying, though. I think that's an unexplored genre. I think Michael Mann's the perfect director. I don't know. I mean, if he's writing novels, I don't know what kind of free time Michael Mann has if he's writing novels and directing movies. But if it comes across his desk and they pay his bread, he'll do it, right? So
there's got to
War Heist.
There's got to be a plethora of indie films on that. I'm sure there's something.
Yeah, you think, but then sometimes with the cross genres, like they're not as common as you think. Like obviously, Heat spans a bunch of different. Did you like Faulty Towers, mate? Your boy John Cleese. I loved how he was Q in the Bond remakes.
No, but I mean, there's a channel here. I mean, I'm not crazy on it. I think it's called UK Gold or something, where they show a lot of those shows. My parents and Nana and Grandad liked it.
Did you screw with Monty Python, or are you out on that as well?
Not so much. No, I respect it and everything, but again,
for what it is,
that was more my parents, and
it's like it was like little generation before yours. Yeah.
Sure. So no, I've put as polite as I can. There's a channel called UK Gold where they do show all those things more. I'd be more like
throwback
90s onwards, the Fast Show, which Johnny Depp famously appeared in with the Butler's Suit You, Sir. Which legendary scene.
Love Depp. He's the man. Of course,
I'll
out there
send
in France.
you that clip.
Send it to me. No, you know I'm a Depp fanboy. It's my guy. I don't give a crap if they try to cancel him. Depp is back, though.
I don't like Monty Python, Pixie. I haven't really seen that much of it, so I can't say. I
know the big movie.
I've not really seen it yet. I've seen Life of Brian, which is good, and The Holy Grail, which is really good.
Holy Grail.
The Knights of Name, which is absolutely hilarious, but the actual TV series, no, I've never seen it.
Like I said, I totally respect John Cleese. I thought he was a sick Q in those Bonds, so legendary British actor. All right, guys, Heat the most epic film of all time. Rest in peace, Sizemore. Rest in peace, Val. Like, sub, and share. Click a join button to get a membership. Leave us ideas to review in the chat or the comments. We'll be back with Zodiac Files, the return of the live show interview series next Saturday. And yeah, I mean, that gives me like Donnie Brasco vibes. Another Big Stuff classic. Movie. So sick movie. Of course, sub Gazzy over at Mosh Shinobi. Marvel Cosmic Invasion out now. I've been playing it. My stream's a little messed up, but I need to get it back on twitch.tv/PlanetXGames. Follow the streams there. Over break, me and Gazzy will probably do some sort of live streams, probably Cosmic Invasion. Maybe Gazzy will bring up the Ninja stuff, some new Ninja Gaiden, and some other new Ninja side-scroller platform beat-em-ups. We're out. Heat, most epic crime film of the mid-'90s, and join us next week for Zodiac, and then final review of the year, Good, Bad, and the Ugly. We'll finish our Dollars Man with No Name trilogy, Clint Eastwood, the GOAT. That's all. Holla at us. We're out. Shout out to everybody who came through. Appreciate you guys dropping your ratings. Like I said, if you like the show, you like the content, please subscribe. And if you want more ideas of things you want reviewed, you can drop comments or live chat. So next week, Zodiac, and then Good and Bad, the Ugly. That'll do it for the year, guys. We're out. Peace. You know, there's a flip side to that coin. If you see the heat coming around the corner, nothing in your life you can't walk out of in 30 seconds. And one last Dallas